There is one thing I like about it. I'll just tell you in 1 second, though. First of all, Tom and Quincy, you looking forward to the Red Sox in London?
No, I'm aggravated to hell by the whole thing, to be honest with you. Because I remember when they released the schedule and that they were going over there, like, this is the stupidest thing ever, right? So the thing that kind of pisses me off, it's like, this should have been like an exhibition game in March.
Totally.
Not
Hey, Tom, you're on mute. Tom, you're live, buddy. You're live.
Not bad. I'm sorry. It was acting up as soon as you went to start it, the thing froze. So I don't know what the fuck, right? So
It's all right. We're live. Let's go.
All right.
What are we gonna talk about
guys,
today with the crew?
Yeah, I mean, I had a feeling that we wanted, there's some people that want to get some stuff off their chest about, the Sox off season so far, be it moves or non-moves, and some pretty harsh feelings towards Chaim Bloom and the organization as an overall. I know that I talk to people on a regular basis. That's who we're going to have on today, who feel similar like me. They want the best they want the Sox to be a good team. They want them to make moves. They want them to spend the money to get these players. And this season, more than any other season that I can remember, they're not doing that, man. They are willing to walk on people. They are willing to lowball everyone. They are willing to chuck numbers out there for people and say that they're in on them when they're fucking not, right? So frustration is building. And with me, I'm frustrated most of the time anyway, because I always feel like they should be doing more, and they're not doing anything. And it's kind of pathetic to see, what Bloom and Henry are doing with this team right now, because from what I see, optics wise, from being around Boston, what you hear nationally, they think the Red Sox are a fucking joke. How fucking hard have you fallen after being in the ALCS 2 years ago? So I wanted to talk to some of the guys that, probably have pretty harsh feelings towards Bloom and the Red Sox. So I thought today would be a better, this day's as good as any other, I guess. So we'll have a few friends on and we'll rip the Sox from top to bottom, I hope.
All right. Who you want to start with first?
We'll bring in Dr. Jim. I speak to him a few times a week over text, over Facebook, over Twitter. I talk to Jim all the time. Every time there's something done in Major League Baseball, we kind of have a back and forth on text. So Jim feels strongly about the state of the Red Sox, like I do. And I was curious, sit down in a little bit of forum area and we'll talk it out. Feel free to swear and drink is what I say.
You got it,
Jim.
What's up, Jim?
How's it going, guys?
It's how it's going.
We're doing our thing,
Hey, just before we begin, tweet from John Heyman at the Red Sox are interested in JD Martinez.
Oh, good.
Not that we don't need any bats.
Bring them back. Fuck it. Right?
At this point, how do we go wrong? There's nothing else left.
Honest to God, man.
Oh, you're not getting Carlo. You're not getting Rodon, huh?
I never thought they were, but they were in on him. Right?
I don't even know where that checkbook came from the Yankees.
Interest kings for a reason.
Unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. This is brutal, man.
Oh, it's worse than every other year.
Dr. Jim got his Dunkin' Donuts coffee, it looks like, ready to go.
I gotta get wired for this.
Jim runs on Duncan, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a Boston thing, ain't it? Duncan
they
never
love-
started.
It's a
They
Boston
fucking love-
thing. Yeah, it's a
They
Boston
love it up here, man. I'm telling you.
All right, Tom, we ready to bring in cameraless Dan today?
Yeah, we can bring Dan in.
And
We only
then
get to
we'll bring in Logan.
hear Dan's radio voice today, but that's okay.
Hey guys, it's me, cameraless Dan. How you doing?
Great picture.
I'm frantically looking around my mom's house for an extra webcam, but I doubt there is one. So,
Dude, don't worry about it.
anyway, yeah, interest kings for a reason. I just saw that tweet too. It's amazing. How you doing, Jim?
Good, Dan. How are you, brother?
I'm good. Well, I mean, I'm good.
I'm not.
The subject of our meeting is not.
We're all
No.
doing better than Hein Bloom.
All right.
Man, unbelievable. But yeah, you guys, Logan's
we
gonna
have
come
a-
on with us. And Logan's
Yes,
he's
he
a
is.
non-Boston guy.
Logan.
You know, he's got some views. He's got some stuff he wants to say, but he's not a Boston guy. So this is fun because we'll get a little perspective.
Logan,
We'll get a little bit of perspective from some of them.
It's getting hot in here.
Yo, you don't want to keep on your Cardinal jersey?
No, I'm not a Cardinals fan today. I'm a Red Sox fan for life, or
Nice.
until the end of the show. Get off of me, Arenado. Okay, I'm fine. We're fine.
Yeah, that's right. Dump Nolan Arenado for the Red Sox. That's a great idea.
Oh, we got a high from we got a high already on the comments.
Oh, Woody he sent out a holla. I grew up with Woody in Randolph, and I send him all of the calls, and he checks out.
Family Guy guy.
James
He checks out all of our stuff.
Oh, that's what I was thinking, Danny. That's what I was thinking.
Didn't he play Hades and
Well, yes, everyone like and subscribe as well.
Hercules? Yeah.
All right, let's
Where we
rip
starting?
it.
All right.
Tom, it's your bag. Go.
All right. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm going to flip out.
Should we let the
Yeah.
radio guy lead it off?
We
Go
got
ahead.
All right. Can you hear me? Okay. All right, guys. So listen. The past few years, they've taken days, weeks, months off my life. Okay. I can't remember a more disappointing offseason for the Sox in a long, long time. Like, I mean, and plus back when they were really, really bad. And I feel that what Bloom has done, and, you know, people will say, well, you got to blame Henry because he writes the checks. And so fine, include Henry if you want to. I go back to Bloom because I have to listen to this fucking jackass talk. All right. Henry's been absent for years. Okay. Bloom is the one that has to get in front of people and have these ridiculous press conferences. And, you know, I think we all know about the Julian McWilliams article where Bloom was so distraught, and it was a frame by frame account of what it was like when he got the call that Bogarts wasn't going to take their fucking suck bag offer. Reading that was laughable. All right. And where he needed a minute to regroup himself, and he could not believe that this team's going to go on without Xander Bogaerts and blah, blah, fucking blah. All right. That article, I related it to Penthouse Forum for the Bluminati. Like, they got off on that so fucking hardcore that he cared so much. I've never read an article more full of shit in my entire life. And the way that Julian McWilliams wrote it, great. The way he wrote it was great. The acting by Bloom is pathetic. There was never a fucking prayer that Bogarts was here. As soon as they signed Story, that went out the fucking window. So all they did was dress up these awful fucking ridiculous offers, chuck them out there, add a year for 30 mil. Come at him. He could have had him for 6/160 last year, and he didn't. So when he went back to Henry now and said, hey, I need $280 million, don't you think that Henry went, I thought you said you could get him for 160? If he even asked him, which I don't think he did. But just for instance, if he did, let's play. I don't think there was a fucking shot in hell that Bogarts was re-signing here at all anyway. That being said, no plan, no direction, no team philosophy. So in the end, no wonder why they are in the fucking cellar, and they will be in the cellar again, just like last year. And I think they're going to be worse. So as a Sox fan, and I'm not some fucking optimistic person about it, like the guy, as a fan, you want your team to do well, right? I get the support of your team. The stuff I read on Twitter and elsewhere about Bloom, supporting Bloom, blows my fucking mind. And I say, like, well, they see the world through fucking Bloom-colored glasses or something. Like he's infallible. Where does he get this respect? What has he done? He's done fucking nothing. He's done nothing except destroy a fucking franchise at this point. No one wants to fucking come here. They're not paying anybody. Carlos Correa was asked why he didn't sign with Boston. He's like, I don't want to be part of no rebuilding. That's the view of what the Red Sox are. They're going to get lowball offers. They're going to laugh in the face of fucking Bloom and John Henry. What are we going to do now? You have put this organization in such a horrible fucking spot compared to when you took it over. He's a fucking disgrace, man. Like, the people that say, oh, Bloom will do this, Bloom's not going to do shit. On top of that, this fucking move yesterday with DFA and Hosmer, okay? All I heard up until yesterday was they don't need a DH because they got Hosmer. They don't need another first baseman. They got Hosmer. They don't have, no, there'll be too many guys that can play first base. All this bullshit. So they trade for this fucking Wyatt Mills kid. Plead ignorance on Wyatt Mills. Never heard of the guy in my life. I'm not up on my middle fucking rotation, my middle relief guys for Kansas City. They traded a middle relief guy from our organization to Kansas City for this kid. Both right-handed. I don't understand it. Then they DFA Hosmer to make room on the 40-man for him. So the reason that they got Hosmer was because he was a serviceable veteran for first base and DH. Now they don't have that, which means, Jim, to our dismay, Bobby fucking Dahlback is there again. Still there. You didn't DFA him. You didn't DFA fucking Ryan Brazier. You DFA Hosmer.
What about Austin? What's his name? Austin Bryce.
Dude, it's like I don't understand anything he's doing.
Austin Davis.
Here's what,
but the fucking nerds will come at you and say, well, you don't understand because his fucking FIP and his whip and his fuck off with that.
His XFAP.
All of that bullshit. All right? The fact of the matter is you're making moves that don't make sense. Zero fucking sense, that move yesterday. I don't understand it. I don't know how anyone in the fucking world can support anything this guy is doing. I really don't understand. So someone, if you think I'm wrong, please fucking enlighten me and tell me why I should be happy about what he's done and what he has not done.
Well, I was alarmed. I was alarmed yesterday when I saw that the DFA of Hosmer, because I'm sitting to myself thinking, you know what? They don't need two left-handed first basemen. All right, Cassis is going to get the job. I'll give you that. But then I look at it and I say, well, is Hosmer going to be a DH? Does he have a spot on this team? He's probably going to be traded. The guy was traded for Jay Groom, who was a top prospect when he was first signed, and wound up. Let's be realistic. He's amounted to nothing. But the bottom line here is that you traded him and now you DFA Hosmer, so you just gave this pitcher away. Just gave him away. He's never even played one inning in the major leagues to at least see if he could throw the ball over the plate. So you just gave him to the Padres and you have nothing in return. And this other guy that they got from Kansas City, the guy that we traded was a pitcher we got in the Kevin Pillar trade. That's where we got him. So, I mean, it's just like, how do you go and say this is a possible chip in a trade market? And I know you're not going to trade Hosmer straight up. And I read today on Twitter that they said no one wanted him anyway. But you could have packaged him in some kind of deal that maybe got you a double-A pitching prospect or a reliever that actually has an ERA under 5. I mean, it's just ridiculous because there's no sense there. You get rid of Hosmer, fine, but there's no direction here at all. It just blows me away. You're going to spend money on Yoshida, a $90 to $100 million. You see Andrew Benintendi getting a 5-year, $75 million deal. How do we know what this Yoshida is going to be like? He's never had one inning in the major leagues. We never know if that's going to transfer over to the major leagues. He could be shit for all we know. And we're already telling ourselves that he's going to be our leadoff hitter. I mean, I don't understand the direction. If you could have signed Bogarts for $160 million in spring, you're giving this guy $100 million. He hasn't even played yet. And he's 29. If you're so gun shy about guys that are 30 and over, the guy's 29 and a half. So what are you doing there? There is no direction. Bloom cannot evaluate talent. He cannot trade. And God forbid if he's involved in a Devers trade, I think I'm going to jump out the window.
Oh, he'll get fucking fleeced hard if that happens.
Maybe we could get back Jackie Bradley again.
Oh, my God.
I'm glad you compared Benintendi to Yoshida. I actually wrote that down in a note because I wanted to bring it up. Like, isn't he basically supposed to be the same player? Kind of he's a small guy. He's going to hit a lot of doubles and singles and hopefully hit 310, maybe play decent outfield, defense for you. He's kind of supposed to be the same player as Benintendi, except Benintendi costs less now for the White Sox than this guy costs for the Red Sox.
$25 million less.
And the difference with Benintendi is he's been an all-star and a gold glove in the MLB.
He's also
probably still younger. Yeah.
He's also played for your team and he can play in this market.
Yeah, and he can play in this market. He had big balls.
You got a 29-year-old scrawny Japanese guy coming over here, and I'm not being racist or anything like that. But the point I'm saying is you're going into a tough market.
A lot of those guys don't work out.
And he supposedly asked Daisuke Matsuzaka what it's like playing for Boston Red Sox, and he said, bring a fucking jacket. I mean, that's what his answer was. So, I mean, I hope the guy does well. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong at all. But where on this team, I was talking to a good buddy of mine about this as well. Where are the sure things on this team this year? Okay. You got Cassis at first base. We don't really know what he's all about. Is he a 280, 30 home run guy? Hope so. Who's playing second base? If Trevor Story's at shortstop, is he going to be healthy? And is he still a 238, 15 home run guy now? No sure thing. Third base is your only sure thing, providing Devers doesn't get hurt. And now all of a sudden, last year, little bit of a track record now. You got a catcher in McGuire and Wong, no sure thing. You got a left fielder, which is Yoshida, no sure thing. Can Kike stay healthy and play a good center field and have a good bat? No sure thing. Verdugo is your average outfielder. He's maybe a sure thing as it relates to his numbers, but he's no superstar. You got a pitching staff. Yeah, but okay, let's go to your pitching staff. Chris Sale is your ace. No sure thing.
Nope.
Paxson is next, number 2.
Nope.
No sure thing. Okay. Bayo is number 3. He's a rookie. Fourth and fifth, I don't even know who's going to be there for sure. And then you look at this. You look at the bullpen. You just signed Kenley Jansen. Okay. Well, 96 out of 103 batters have stolen bases off of him in the last 10 years. Okay, so he can't hold a fucking run around to save his life.
He's 35.
You're going to put a pitch count in now, which means that his fat ass can't get the ball over the plate, and he's going to be huffing and puffing. You sign Chris Martin, who reinvented himself, and he's going to be your 8th inning guy. You got Ryan fucking, there it is, a home run Brazier again. So you have
my buddy.
You have no guarantee in the bullpen. Where's the guarantee here? I don't see it.
All fair. Yeah. Yep. Logan, what do you think, man? As a non-Boston person, what's the perception down where you are about the Red Sox right now? What they've done or not done?
I'm in Podunk, like sister fucking Texas, so we like they don't do baseball. So, but I will like to say, like, I don't like the Boston Red Sox are not my number one team, but I do love the Red Sox. Like, as a baseball fan, the Red Sox are probably, they're one of the storied franchises along with the Cardinals and the Yankees. I like those are the three quintessential franchises of Major League Baseball. So whenever they suck, when they have such a talented team, they did have such a talented team, is kind of frustrating as a baseball fan. I was looking at, I don't know who posted this, but it said if everything went, this is how the 2022 season should have looked like. And I forgot that the first trade that Chaim Bloom made was the Mookie Betts trade.
Mm.
And so center field should have been Mookie Betts, Devers at third, Xander at shortstop, JD Martinez at DH. They should have kept Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, they should have.
They should have re-signed him. He was a great player, and now he just became a National League champion for the Phillies. Trevor Story, which he had a down year last year, but I think next in 2023 he's going to have a better season.
Later,
Hunter
James.
Renfroe was another player that they missed out on, or they kind of let. They
traded him for crap.
Yeah, and Christian Vasquez as your catcher, and Andrew Benintendi as your left fielder. That's a solid team. If you put that team on paper, I get goosebumps. And that's a great team right there. And then they traded all these guys for like Vertigo, Jeter Downs, who they just DFA'd also. Yeah, and I have a lot of notes here that I'm going to write. First of all, JD Martinez. I don't know if I've told you this story or you guys know this story, but JD Martinez at the trade deadline in the 2022 season, he told Chaim Bloom and the owner, he said, listen, you can trade me to wherever you want, whatever helps the team best. But I want you to know that it's not going to affect how, I want to come back in 2023 and play for the Red Sox because I love this team and I love this city. They've been piss-anting around JD Martinez, who's been a very solid player for them the last couple of years, which I think that's stupid.
Yeah.
Especially when he said you can trade me to get better prospects or a better player, so next year is a better team, and they didn't even trade him then, and then now they're not even going to try to re-sign him until like the last minute. I think that's stupid. Eric Hosmer, listen. You can judge him on his contract the last couple of years. Like, was he worth all that money? But the Padres are paying for his last 3 years to be in the Red Sox uniform. They're paying his entire contract.
Yep.
He's owed $39 million over 3 years. So you have him until 25. Why are you DFAing him already? You barely have a team to put out on the field. He's definitely better than Bobby Dahlbeck. Listen, Bobby Dahlbeck, he sucks monkey dick. I don't give a shit. That's stupid. He's at least your DH. He's at least your first baseman in case Cassis, is that his name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cassis doesn't work out. So it just seems like, why would you do that? If you're gonna do that, trade him. Trade him to get something back. he's not a shit player. He's a good player. He has a great on base percentage. He's got he gets on base. Is he worth the $14 million? He wasn't worth that big contract, and that's why people don't like him. So I don't know. It just seems stupid. Why would you DFA him like that? Next, Xander Bogaerts. So he signed in 2019 a 6-year, $120 million deal. That would have gotten him a $20 million AAV. And then in 2022, they offered him a 4-year, $90 million deal, extension, not extension, but something to destroy the opt-out that Xander had. Yeah. So that would have put his AAV at $22 million a year. And then Xander said that was offensive, a $2 million thing for your best player on the Red Sox, a $2 million raise for your best player on the Red Sox. That's offensive. I would say that's offensive too. He ended up signing with the Padres for $25 million a year. And listen, I understand you don't like 11 years for Xander Bogaerts. That's a lot to put on. And I think it's a bad contract, but I think you could have paid him $28 million for 8 years or something. And he would have accepted that deal easily. He said he loves Boston. So I don't get why they're just trying to do this whole, we're going to lowball all of you guys and then just expect you to deal with it and accept the terms of our deal. And then one last thing, Wyatt Mills, I was looking at his thing. He had a 4.60 ERA. He was a right-handed reliever last year, 88 ERA plus, but he had a 3.62 FIP, which I think, for a bad team like the Royals, I think, you can kind of expect he's going to be better with the Red Sox. So I think you can be hopeful with Wyatt Mills a little bit. I don't know who they traded him for, but
I think he only pitched 12 innings last year, though.
It said 27 games.
I want to say Jacob.
30 innings and 27 games.
I have it up here. Hold on.
Oh, and by the way, was Christian Vasquez
I got a kick out of the Red Sox release, though.
Jacob Wallace was the guy they traded.
Jacob Wallace. Yep. I was like Mullins, I thought. Something like that.
Is Christian Vasquez that good of a catcher? Because and this is kind of off topic, but what was so great about him? Because I look at his stats and I didn't think he was all that great.
He was overrated.
I didn't want him for the Cardinals.
He had this year, and I think 2 or 3 years ago, he had very good offensive seasons, but I thought he was kind of overrated, especially defensively. I wasn't that sad that he's gone, but
I think he was a lot of the stuff with Vasquez was the clubhouse stuff too. I think that he's a good teammate type guy, and
okay.
He was a good veteran catcher.
A solid player.
Yeah,
that's all.
I have no faith in Reese, McGuire, and Connor Wong. They could be okay. I'm sure they're fine, but the catcher position sucks. So what are you going to do?
McGuire looked pretty good down the stretch, though.
He did. He did. I think Wong did too.
He wasn't a total piece of shit, So I'll give him a chance, but I'm a little tired of hearing all these reports that the Red Sox are interested in getting a catcher when it's clearly not the biggest need. Right now, you need 2 right-handed impact bats, in addition to fixing a starting rotation and a bullpen. When Chaim Bloom specifically said to Kike Hernandez, please resign here, we will be better next year. But you had to actually convince that guy, a backup infielder from the Dodgers, to re-sign with the Red Sox so that they could move forward and not have to worry about a center fielder. And he agreed to that. And then you go out and you say, here you go, Bogaerts is gone, JD Martinez is gone, Evaldi is gone, Vasquez is gone. How are you better? At December 17th, and I know this offseason isn't finished yet, but there's no way, shape, or form that you can tell me that this offseason they're going to be better and until something starts happening. I know there's time, But you know what? There's just they're not showing anything like they're going to do anything that's going to be important. They're not going to sign anybody for a long-term deal. So, you got that competition with other teams. I don't know. I mean, I have a couple ideas. I've shared ideas in the past. What I would do right now, if I were them, I would re-sign Evaldi. All right. I would get a Seth Lugo type. So you put those two guys in your rotation because Lugo said he wanted to start. So you put those guys in your rotation. You put Whitlock and Tanner Houck back in the bullpen where they belong to strengthen that bullpen up. And then you go sign Trey Mancini. Trey Mancini can be your DH. He can play outfield, and he can be a backup right-handed bat for first base if Cassis needs a day off or you have a left-handed starter and you want to sit Cassis or even Rafael Devers. And then you go out and you get someone like a Jose Iglesias to be your second baseman, who in turn can play third, who can play short, and actually has a decent bat.
I liked him when he came back.
All good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he came back as like a backup infielder, I liked him. I just don't see him as a starter anymore. I know the team probably does because he probably will play for $3 million on a 1-year deal. I don't know. I mean, all the big names are off the board now except Dansby Swanson, but I don't think that's realistic to even consider.
So there was something that was out last night or this morning that said that Swanson took all the Atlanta Brave crap off his Instagram page. It also said that Alex Cora friended him on Twitter or some bullshit like that.
I think I did hear someone say that. It's just, I don't know.
It's all posturing and bull crap anyway.
For the most part. And he, by the way, he's 29. He's only and Bogarts just turned 30. Like, he's not even a full year younger than Bogarts. It's just stupid.
Now, someone just put it on Twitter. This guy extended Rafael Devers. He said, "Take a stab at a JD Martinez contract, 3 years, $55 million." Who in their right mind is going to give JD Martinez 3 years?
That's more than
insane.
55. That's 18 a year. Okay, so I think he was actually making 19 in the last 3.
3 years? Are you fucking kidding me? He just came off a 5-year deal.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think he'll be better than he was last year.
Oh, I agree.
At the same time, yeah, probably if I'm another team, I'm probably not looking to bring him in on a 3-year deal. The Red Sox,
1
maybe
year,
2 years and an option or something. I'd be okay with that.
I wouldn't even give him 2 years. I'll give you 1 year. That's it. Go year to year.
One and a team option at 15 or 18 a year.
Maybe.
That's about as far as I'd be willing to go. I mean, he was a good player here. He had a bad season last year. It seemed like everybody was checked out last year. Even Bogarts wasn't amazing. Devers wasn't great.
You guys thought JD Martinez had a bad season last year?
I mean, he wasn't like throwing up on himself at the plate, but by his standards, it was a down season for him for sure. I think he only had like 14 home runs or something.
Oh, okay. 16, yeah. Okay,
16,
I get that.
Yeah.
I was like, man, a 790 OPS. That's pretty
yeah,
great.
I mean, and he had stretches where he looked like himself. Yes, so he still had 274. He wasn't trash. He just wasn't JD Martinez.
He had a good April and May, and then he just completely fell off.
And I think that was the same with Devers. He kind of flamed out around June or July himself.
Devers got hurt too.
Yeah, that's right. He had it was lower back, right?
Yeah. I think it was a hamstring. It
was like lingering all season.
I think it was a hamstring.
Okay.
It is kind of funny though, because as a baseball fan and I host my own podcast about baseball, it's funny because I see a lot of I have Red Sox fans like Tom, I have Dodger fans like Jason, I have Yankee fans, friends who are that don't do podcasting but should honestly. And it seems like there's always like with Cardinals, Yankees, well, not really Yankees right now, and Red Sox fans that we're all we always get mad at our GM because we have such a good, talented team that we can, you just need a couple of pieces, just one piece or two pieces here that'll help bolster the lineup or help bolster your rotation, and you don't need to go spend Dodger money or Yankee money. You just have to go get a little bit more, and then they refuse to do it. And then in the Red Sox case, they not only refuse to go get a little bit better, they go and make their team worse by refusing to pay, a guy like Xander Bogaerts and JD Martinez this kind of money.
They're more in the process of burning the whole fucking thing to the ground at this point. They're not a piece or two away. Like 2 years ago, they were a piece or two away, probably. It feels like it's just the whole thing's been destroyed. Tom, you're muted again.
Adam, you can unmute him, right?
I can. I bet he switched cameras and he got off the laptop and went to the phone. Am I unmuted?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just looked down and saw him talking, but he's muted.
Yeah. Okay, so Tom's mic is not connected. So
Okay,
he's going through what Dan's going through with the camera.
Fucking shit drives me crazy.
Okay, Tom, you gotta shut one down.
Yeah, hold
or
on.
Shut off the YouTube channel.
Stand by.
It's like a weird acid trip.
So I just decided to go cameraless. These kind of things drive me crazy. Just like Tom.
I like that Trey Mancini signing idea, though.
Yeah,
Jim. I think that's a solid pickup.
I just looked through the list of free agents that are still there, and he's a guy who stands out as maybe being able to fill that DH role. He can play some first too if you need him to.
Hey,
I don't know. There's a few
the
pitchers out there.
Baseman finally got off the board.
Who?
Adam
Who's that,
Frazier
Vernon?
finally got signed. First second baseman's off the board.
Yeah. If they sign a second base.
Yeah, you hear me now?
Yes.
All right.
We're good.
Sorry.
Did you? I don't know. I was talking. I looked down and you were talking. Did you have something on the?
Yeah, I was saying that the frustrating part is that when you were saying that they're halfway to burning the fucking thing down, right?
Well, they're more than halfway.
Well, whatever. My problem is that they're not fucking saying that. They come out with this fucking ridiculous nonsense statement saying that they're in on this, they're in on that, they're in on this, they're in on that. They ain't in on shit. And I would like them, as a fucking fan, I want to hear ownership and fucking management say, we're just not in it this year. As opposed to fucking try to piss on me and tell me that fucking they're gonna stock the team and they're gonna get this guy and we're gonna do its best and da 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 da. And the whole fucking thing. Buckle up for the fucking same thing with Devers that you just watched with Bogaerts.
It's already like in my mind. It's already a done deal. Like he's gone.
He's gone. And
you know, there's a ton of teams that want him too.
This is what's gonna happen. All right. I even called Felger about this yesterday. Machado's is opting out after the season.
Yeah.
At the same fucking time that Devers becomes a free agent.
Yeah.
So you already know a year ahead. You know now that you're gonna minimally deal with San Diego because they're gonna give that kid the fucking moon. All right.
Yeah.
They're going to put him, he's going to end up right back at fucking third base next to Bogaerts out in fucking San Diego, and the Sox are going to be fucked. So buckle up for this whole charade that this fucking asshole, if he's still here, is going to try to sell us again. That, we offered. Yeah, you went to him with the fucking Olsen, was the kid Matt Olsen, right? The Braves deal?
Yeah, Matt Olsen.
They went to him with that. I would have done a fucking remember Lou Brown in Major League when he was Dawn was bitching about his contract, and Lou Brown just ticks his dick out and pissed on the contract on the fucking field. That's what Devers should have done. He should have pissed on Bloom for that offer.
Honestly, what they should have done is as soon as Austin Riley signed with the Braves, that extension contract, that was the period of time that they should have gotten Devers under control, because that actually was fading to go the opposite way. It was like tipping the scales where the numbers were, the value was coming down a little bit, and it was like, oh, Devers overplaying his hand a little bit. Now you see all these contracts with Carlos Correa getting $360 million fucking bazillion dollars, and it's like, forget it, the price is going up. And here's another thing, with the shift gone for next year and the pitch count, I have a suspicion that Devers is going to have a very good season.
Yeah.
And if he comes back and hits 290 with 30 bombs, the value's going up again.
Yep.
So you sign him now off the bullet, it'll actually save you if you have to have this conversation next year at this time, providing he can sign with anybody else.
Today's price is 10 for $350.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably. Yeah.
That's today.
Well, all this horse shit I see for 14 years. I wouldn't do that though.
Well, no, I wouldn't. I mean, the funny thing too, was it Bryce Harper was the first guy to go like 13?
13,
right?
27 a year.
Okay, so when I saw the Bogarts one, and I think Trey Turner as well, they have full no trades.
Yep.
Like you gave a 30-year-old guy no trade protection for 11 years.
No trade, no opt-outs.
No nothing. You got him.
Well, I think the teams that have done this, it's the Phillies, the Padres. I don't know. Has anybody else given out a deal like this?
Rangers, I think. Rangers did one, right?
Yeah, the Rangers had a cut.
They did it with DeGrom, but that was 5 years.
So did the Giants with Correa.
Yeah, Giants and
Giants. And maybe, I don't know, Mike Trout or something. I think those teams, though, they just don't care. Like, they just want to win 1 or 2 or 3. And then, it'll be like Bobby Bonilla for 3 or 5 years with Trey Turner and Xander Bogaerts. But we'll eat the fucking money because we'll make it selling World Series, 3-time World Series champion shirts, Well,
yeah, and what they've started doing now is they'll, say Correa, because that's one that really I understand, is – let's say he signed a 13-year contract, so he's good for 10 years. And then in the 11th year, he's like, he's fallen off because, he's 40 years old, and he's been playing forever. What the Giants will probably do is end up saying, hey, why don't you go ahead and retire, and we'll defer this money up like a Bobby Bonilla trade.
Yeah, exactly.
Trade,
I think,
deferred money thing. And
I think the Sox are still paying Manny like $2 million a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he was the highest paid player in 2020.
And he's worth every penny of it. Every time they write him that $2 million check, you just have to think back to 04 and 07 and say, the guy was the best fucking outfielder in the league for almost 10 years.
Can we not talk about 2004? It's a trigger word for me. No.
It might bring people to this show.
What? What was that, Adam?
What?
Oh, I thought you were talking shit.
Why? It might bring good time to these guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. Listen, it does. Don't shit on me and my 2004 heartbreak.
Yeah, that feeling will never be relived.
Oh gosh, yeah, I'm sure it won't. I remember crying in 2004. Another player that I think the Red Sox should be looking at is Brandon Drury. I think he's a solid player. He's a third baseman. I think by trade, but he plays all the outfield. He plays second base. He's a very versatile player.
He's a regular Brock star.
There's no indication that Chaim Bloom is going to trade anybody for anybody. And the reason I'm saying is because he wants to keep all his prospects. He's given no indication on any of that. You know, the only guy he's traded, really, truthfully, is what do you call it? Jay Groom again, for Hosmer. He hasn't shown a willingness to trade any of these minor league guys. And now you got a situation where they've capped what they think they want to do in terms of long-term deals. They're not going to go 9, 10, 12-year deals. They're probably going to go 6-year deals at maximum with anybody. Look at Story from last year. So you're limiting yourself on what you can do, and you're just going to continue to make your team worse. You can't just keep signing guys for 1 or 2 year deals and hoping that the shit sticks to the wall.
Well, Jim, the funny thing too is where they're talking about short-term deals instead of stretching guys 7, 8 years or 6 years or whatever it is. The perfect guy that they should have done the 1 year deal on was Bellinger, and they didn't.
I agree.
1 year, $17 million, like a pillow contract, like when Beltray signed here.
Yeah, I was in on that too. I would have loved them. I would have loved that they did that because he could have played center field.
Yeah,
he could have played center field. Now you got Kike at second.
Yep,
it solves that problem right there.
But I mean, I thought that because I talked to Maz and Felger about that too. It's like he would have been the perfect guy to get on one of those 1 year deals because that's all he wanted. Yep. He wanted to, a prove it contract 1 season because he's gonna light it up in Wrigley Field. Right?
And the Cubs aren't going anywhere. The Cubs aren't going anywhere. So the point being is that you probably could have gotten him for all these teams that are garbage and have no chance, including the Red Sox. You probably could have got him.
But Jim, Bloom talks out of both sides of his face. Is the problem.
Exactly.
He's telling you that they don't want to extend the money out that long-term deals. You have a kid, a fucking former MVP. He's in his mid-20s.
He's 27.
He wants 1 season. That's all he wanted. He's exactly the fucking guy that you say that you're going to go get. And you didn't.
Right.
Instead, you go get Hoy fucking Park or whatever the fucking kid's name is. And then you fucking trade him too.
For cash considerations.
For fucking money, like the Red Sox need cash. What's he gonna get? $500,000,
if that.
I mean, come on with this. It's so fucking asinine. I don't get it.
But again, that's just one part of it. The guy cannot evaluate talent.
No,
I mean, all right. We haven't even talked about fucking Jeter Downs yet. You DFA of all the players that are on the 40-man roster, including Ryan Brazier and Darwinson Hernandez. You went and you actually DFA'd Jeter Downs, who was the headliner, if you recall, the headliner of that Mookie Betts trade. So now you basically traded Mookie Betts for a fucking ball sack of balls and Connor Wong and Verdugo. So I mean. The guy couldn't evaluate talent there. And I talked to a couple other guys. Tom, I actually was talking with Anthony on the Cape about this. Yeah. And he says, well, you know what? Bloom wanted greater all and ownership didn't want greater all. Well, you know what? I don't know. Then you know what? Shame on both of them because the Dodgers had a ton of pitching. There's no reason on God's green earth that you couldn't get a pitcher, from the Dodgers.
What about Walker Buehler?
That's the guy I wanted.
We're talking about Mookie Betts. I mean, come on.
That's the guy I wanted. That's the guy I wanted. All right. Now let's move over to Andrew Benintendi. Look at that trade.
Fucking horrendous.
That trade was horseshit for a guy
that's as bad as it gets, to be honest.
Yeah, really.
For a guy, all right, Franchi fucking Cordero, who's a 4A player.
He's gone now.
Josh Winkowski, who might be a mop-up guy at best, or when you're down 5 or 6 runs, he's coming into a ball game. Okay, the old fucking Greg Harris part of the ball game is where you're going to see him. Okay, and this guy went and just signed a 5-year, $75 million deal with the White Sox after finishing the season with the New York Yankees. Then you've got the Hunter Renfroe trade. okay, for Benalis and Robert, whatever the fuck that guy's name is.
Hamilton, I think?
Hamilton, David Hamilton, yeah.
Those guys can't hit. Hamilton can run, but you know what? All he's got to do is suffer one injury and see you later there.
On Hamilton and Jeter Downs the same guy?
Well, Hamilton, I think, is a better player. The guy can fucking catch and he can fucking run at least.
You know.
So but again, do we really see either one of these guys making the major leagues and being an impact guy? No.
Not Hamilton. Jeter Downs is probably done already. Honestly.
Okay. Then you go to 2 years ago with the Philly trade. All right, where you got Seabold, who's worthless.
This one's my favorite because it's like, oh yeah, dude, he ripped off the Phillies. Yeah, Connor Seabold, I think we've seen him about 5 times. He sucks.
He's terrible.
And Nick Pivetta, I mean, he's had some good starts.
He's serviceable.
I literally feel like I'm putting a revolver with 3 rounds in it and just pulling the trigger to my head just to see what happens.
So let me make this clear. You traded Mookie Betts, Andrew Benintendi, a 30 home run guy in Renfroe. You let Xander Bogaerts walk. You DFA'd Hosmer. You got rid of Jay Groom.
It's been an incredible few years.
And all you have is
Verdugo.
Nick Pivetta and Verdugo. That's it.
And by the way, I think this is Verdugo's last year of arbitration. So are they just going to let him walk at the end of this year? I mean, that's what I would guess.
Yes, I believe that's exactly what's going to happen.
No, he's got 2 more years of team control, I think.
This was an arbitration year. I think he might have another year after this of arbitration. I'm not sure.
Well, they're going to let him walk too. Because
that's my point. Yeah,
he's so average. You could replace Verdugo. I'm sorry, he is.
The reason they traded Benintendi is because there was redundancy with him and Verdugo. Imagine.
Yeah. And by the way,
and there's a clear indication too that this Yoshida is the same player as both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's worth $100 million, Tom.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm not up on my ham fighters from the Nippon fucking whatever over there.
He does. He seems like the same player to me too.
Hey, listen, Daisuke Matsuzaka's playing short over there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too. Is like you'd think this kid was fucking Ichiro, from what the hype is about him.
Well,
I hope he is. Don't get me wrong.
Jim, I'm like you though, in the fact that when I fucking flip out and say get pissed about stuff, they think that I don't want the player to succeed. Of course I want the player to succeed. I just can't do with the overall blowing of this guy when you have no fucking clue that he can play in this fucking market, in the league, never mind the market. So you add the market to the league, right?
But just going back to what I was saying 2 minutes ago, you traded all these guys away. You have 2 major league talents. I'm using the word talent loosely. 2 major league players in Pivetta and Verdugo. That's it.
Pivetta came back for Workman, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's
not bad. I mean, I don't mind Pivetta because he's kind of a crazy person, which I like sometimes.
I did like him in the playoffs 2 years ago, but
you know what? You know why you like Pivetta? I'll tell you right now, because he's not a pussy. That's why.
Yeah, he's got some balls.
He does have balls, and I'll take more of that. Guys that look like they give a fuck.
Yeah,
and that kid looks like he gives a fuck.
Like I'm fine with him as like the 4th or 5th starter, or whatever. I can
whatever
live with that. But you're right. Like the guy's taking the victory lap for like the signing of Yoshida. I think I sent you a tweet that somebody was like, "Oh man, imagine what Heim Bloom haters are thinking right now after that signing." And I was like, "This is
I know what I'm
fucking
thinking."
Delusional. And then there was one other. So as far as the trades go, his record is just mostly shit. But he throws a lot of bullpen pitchers at the wall. And inevitably, probably like a third of them turn out to be good, right? John Schreiber, the other Japanese guy's decent. Sawamura, he's decent. He's nothing special. Ottavino was good the 1 year he was here. So he throws 20 of these guys at the wall, and 15 of them blow, and 5 of them look pretty good. And then it's Whitlock and Sawamura and Ottavino, and they forget about Austin Big Fudge Davis and who was that other guy who really sucked? He was blowing games at the end of last year. Oh man! And then like Darwin's in Hernandez, he sucked. Hold on, I got the
Yeah,
roster.
he's still here. Him and Brazier.
He's still here. Ryan Brazier, right?
Yeah.
He started off hot here, and now it's been like 3 years of suck. Matt Barnes sucks. Not that Barnes was a Matt Strom. He sucked last year. Started off good. Where's the Hansel Robles? Hansel Robles is the guy I'm thinking of. Strom got traded. Yeah, Robles and Big Fudge suck, but all anyone wants to talk about is Garrett Whitlock and John Schreiber, right? But it's like when you throw 20 of these guys at the wall, some of them will be decent.
Yeah, Dan, and the thing is, it's like, what skill does that take?
Well, that's exactly it. Like,
well, that's a good point, Tom, because you know what? I mean, everybody's giving him kudos for drafting Marcelo Mayer. Any fucking blithering league could have done that, except for fucking Charrington because he let him fucking go to the 4th round. So I mean, I could have fucking signed Marcelo Mayer. He just fucking fell in his lap. So what? Dude, why are we giving him credit for that?
The Bloom people, the Bloominati, which is the best word ever made up.
Yeah, it really is.
Matt McCarthy coined that one, I think. But he the Bloom lovers will piss on Dombrowski and say, well, how hard is it to go throw the most money at the best free agent on the market? It's like, that's what you should be doing. Because they were like, well, David Price. I'm like, he wanted David Price. He went out and got David Price. He wanted Chris Sale. He traded the prospects that would get Chris Sale. Right? And people can piss on Price and they can hate Sale because he's fragile and all this bullshit. The fact of the matter, those moves won a World Series.
Those were big moves, but he made a ton of tiny moves that won them a World Series too. Steve Pierce at the trade deadline. Who would have came up with that one?
Absolutely. But
and don't forget he drafted Bayo and Cassis.
But they leave those
from the Pirates.
out.
Yeah.
They leave those out.
A lot of people like to bash Dombrowski, and again, Tom, I was talking with Anthony on the Cape back and forth about that. He can't stand Dombrowski because he says he inherited such a good team and he could have extended a lot of these guys when he had the opportunity. But the bottom line here is that when he came in, Dombrowski, he identified problems. He said, "We need a start." I don't know what that clicking noise is. I hear something clicking, but
I hear it.
Yeah.
I was just ready to type in the private chat about it. That clicking noise.
Yeah. So he identified the problem. He said, "We need a starting ace." He went and got Price, which was the right move at that time because he was the best guy out there. He said, "We need a closer." He went and got Kimbrel. Right. So his entire time, except for maybe Andrew Kashner, I agreed with probably just about every move he made. And everybody gets on him for ripping up and killing the farm system. But let's look at the recent history. Has anybody that he traded away been valuable at all? Has anybody done anything outside of Margot? Right? Has anybody actually been? Has there been a mistake? Have we looked at anybody and said, "Fuck, we should have never gotten rid of that guy"? And the answer is no. No one has really, and people might say, well, you gave up Kopech and Moncada to the White Sox, but you got arguably the best left-handed starter in baseball in 2016. He was the best. In 2016, he was the best.
Mm-hmm. And he was good. He was really good in 2017 too. I mean, it's been a bad few years for him, but
I understand it. But at the time, he was the best pitcher in baseball.
Big part of that 2018 World Series too.
Exactly. So my point is that you got to give up talent to get talent, right? And so he gave up Moncada, who had one good season, and Kopech is still a fucking question mark because he's always hurt. So he's never given up anybody. So for anybody that says to me, "Oh, he ripped through your farm system. That's what he did in Detroit and everywhere else." Well, you know what? None of those guys meant anything. Okay, the guy he traded for San Diego there, Anderson Espinoza or whatever it was. He just re-signed with like the Cubs or something. That guy's garbage too, and they said he was the next Pedro Martinez. Nobody has done anything.
Was that for Pomerantz?
Pomerantz, thank you.
Yes.
So no one has amounted to jack racket shit. So
yeah.
So I mean, we give him so much trouble, and he's the one that signed. He drafted Cassis, right? He drafted Bayo. I'd have to look it up. I know there's a few
Tanner
other
Houck.
Tanner Houck, yeah. So I mean, in my eyes, okay, Bloom's been here 3 years plus. Dombrowski was here 3 years. Dombrowski's got a better track record than this shitbag.
It's not even close. It's not even. And Dombrowski obviously had those great years in Detroit and on the Marlins too. So, I mean, I was rooting for the Phillies. I mean, obviously they gave him a blank check and just told him win us a World Series, which is fine. That's what you like to see your owner do. But I was hoping he'd win it this year. I was going to start calling him a Hall of Famer to anyone who listened. He may still get in anyway.
Oh, he's definitely getting in.
Yeah,
he probably will, Dan.
Of this era, there aren't a lot of guys who are better than him.
There isn't.
Theo Epstein is the one guy who was clearly ahead of him. That's it.
Yeah, Theo Epstein's definitely in. Just because of the Red Sox. Forget the Cubs.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but I mean, there's no question. Anybody who doesn't think Dombrowski's a Hall of Famer has got to have their head examined.
So I was doing a little bit more while you guys were talking, and I was in 2022 they were ranked 6th in on base percentage, 9th in OPS, which is pretty solid for a team that was last place in the AL. But they were 25th in ERA, 25th in opponent batting average. This is among starters, and 25th in WHIP. So they were the 25th worst team basically. And then they were 17th in fielding percentage and 14th in errors last year. Oh my gosh, that clicking is annoying.
What is that?
Tom, are you typing shit on your phone?
No.
Tom, are you typing?
I'm not doing anything
somewhere.
No, I'm not doing anything. My computer's off. It's just my phone.
It may be that the computer is too close to your phone, and it's causing like a static frequency.
My computer's totally turned off.
I'm just trying to figure it out because it's getting crazy.
Yeah, anyways, no, I don't have. I have no other devices hooked up. I'll mute myself and see. I don't.
Keep muting myself, thinking it's me, but it's not.
Thing, and I'm not sure it's me either. I have nothing.
It sounds like someone's typing on their phone. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, that was not.
It sounds like numbers, like typing keys. Like
I muted myself and it was still going, so it's not me.
Yeah, me too.
We want to try restarting this.
I think it's Tom.
Tom, I think it is you, bro.
It's still clicking even with when I'm muted.
It was?
I didn't hear it.
I can't hear it.
I can't
hear it either.
Going right now.
Yeah, I did. I think it is him.
All right, I'll just leave it muted then.
Anyway, so I wanted to ask, do you, on a scale of like 1 to 10, 1 being like completely like there is no hope for 23, even 24. What the fuck is going on? And then 10 being like, listen, we are going to the playoffs for sure. The NLCS is probably most likely a sure thing. World Series is a reality that could happen. On a scale of 1 to that, where do you think the Red Sox are right now?
3.
3?
I mean, as they're currently constituted, yeah, it's a 3. I was gonna go 2. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking at least 4, or at the most 4.
No.
Especially now that they lost. I mean, their big guy, which is Xander Bogaerts. They're probably losing JD Martinez. There's a couple other things.
The pitching staff is not good. I mean,
Tom, what
I
do you
forgot
have?
that. Tom said 2.
Yeah.
Oh, 2.
Yeah. I forgot Michael Wacha's a free agent. He was their best pitcher last year. Paxton, I don't know what he's gonna do. Did he even pitch once last year? I don't remember.
No.
Not a single, not a pitch.
And what they do? Pay him $10 million to not pitch a single pitch?
Yeah,
but they can't pay Xander Bogaerts.
I wish the Red Sox have a red shirt policy now.
Yeah, but they can't. They can pay $10 million for a guy to not throw a pitch, but not pay Xander Bogaerts.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, my point is
that goes back to the no directional plan.
Yeah, exactly.
I think like should the Red Sox consider just doing a massive rebuild again? And I understand that they were trying to do that back in a couple of years ago, but it didn't really it turned into a World Series win, or I believe I can't remember when it was, but they tried to rebuild and it didn't really work out.
They are in a rebuild. They are in a rebuild right now, right? Because you got Bayo here, you've got Houck, you've got Whitlock, you've got Cassis. You still have Devers that's 26 years old.
Long, I guess you could argue.
So I mean, this is a rebuild. They're in the middle of it.
The problem is they got the wrong guy to run a rebuild.
Well, that's just it, because he cannot evaluate talent, Dan. He cannot evaluate talent.
Couldn't agree more.
I don't know how many times I could say it before I'm blue in the face, but you had Mookie Betts, you had Xander Bogaerts on this team that you let walk for a 4th-round draft pick. If anything, you should have traded him in August. Okay? So Betts is gone, Bogaerts is gone, Benintendi, who's your first-round draft pick in Benintendi, gone. Renfroe, who I understand you got off the scrap heap, but hit 31 home runs in Fenway. Granted, I know home and away, but 31 home runs as a Red Sox and can play in Boston. I know he's but he's gone. Okay? I loved him. All right, all these guys are gone, and you have nothing to show for it but Nick Pivetta and Alex Verdugo, and it's not good enough. It's not good enough.
So that leads me into my next part is there a guy that you feel like listen, we love, and I'm just only going to use him as an example, Rafael Devers, but we need to get some real talent back. We need to be able to help this process of getting better players. There's a little chance that we're going to get Devers to come back. We need to trade him in order to. And what if they ate up Chris Sale's contract too? They say we'll give you Devers, but you have to take on Chris Sale's contract, because right now Chris Sale, whether he was great for you back in 2018 and 19, or not even 19, I think he was injured in 19, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I think he went 8-8 or something in 2019.
But
he's bleeding you with a lot of money that he's with a lot of money.
They're not going to trade Chris. They don't need to get rid of Chris Sale that badly to be able to give 1 year of Devers away just to move Chris Sale. No. They're not at that stage. It's not going to happen. What they need to do is they need to identify the fact that Devers is a homegrown talent. They just lost Bogaerts. They've got 3 years ago. They got rid of Mookie Betts. They've got to sign him to a reasonable, and I use that term loosely, contract, 8 to 10 years, maybe 10 years, 320, something like that. Lock him up as a cornerstone hitter. And if Tristan Cassis has a good season, and you could define what good is, everybody's got their opinion, but let's say it's a 280, 30 home run season, 90 RBIs. Well, what I would do is I would offer him a contract, and I would buy out his arbitration years and get him on a 7 or 8 year deal. And now you would have Devers and Cassis as lockdowns in that lineup for the next 7 years minimally, and you build around those guys with some of these guys coming up, like Nick York, Kavasas, or whatever his name is there, and some of these other guys that, they think highly of. We don't know, but at least you've got two cornerstone studs at first and third base that you can move forward with.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the best. That's the absolute best they can do this year, I would say. But again, I have absolutely no faith that they're going to get anything done with Devers. And this is my main thing. If you're not going to pay Mookie Betts, Xander Bogaerts, and Rafael Devers, who are you going to pay? Those are three of the best players in the league, especially given their respective positions.
They're not, because they want to go ahead and they got to be the new smart guys in the room, and they want to just offer something like a maximum of a 6-year deal. Trevor Story's a perfect example of that. They don't want to go more than 6 years on anybody. And right now it's a determination of whether they're going to be screwed, that they have to go more with Devers because of the fan backlash, and they have to sell tickets. Let's not forget, baseball's a business, and they have to sell tickets, and they got to put asses in seats. That's another important thing here in this whole scenario. So they got to be able to think about that and the swag and everything with Devers and so forth. But they don't want to go more than 6 years on anybody. I guarantee you, there's shit out there about Dansby Swanson right now. You think they're going to offer him a 10-year contract after letting Bogaerts go? That would be the dumbest thing in the history of the world. They're going to, you know what? If they're going to offer him anything, it's going to be a 6-year deal and probably a high AAV. Oh.
I think he can probably do better if it's not from the Braves, and I don't know. He is kind of the last guy on the market, but you would think the Braves would have just paid him. I don't know what happened there, what the deal was with that. I just I don't think that's realistic. Dansby Swanson deal. I'm not expecting anything like that. At this point, I'll be happy if they get Corey Dickerson for some outfield depth.
I wouldn't mind Swanson from the standpoint he's a good defender.
No, I'd like to bring him in at this point.
I mean, if you had Story and Swanson, either way, whether one's the shortstop, one's the second baseman, or flip it, right? Yeah. The point being is that you'd have a good line, up the middle would be awesome.
Yes.
Okay. And then you'd have cornerstones and Cassis, and if you sign Devers, well, now you're kind of talking. Now for the next 5+ years, that's your infield. I'll be okay with that. Then give me Mancini, put him in right field or DH, okay? And then, you're going to trade Verdugo, fine, because we can't get too many left-handed guys here. And, try to fix the fucking rotation, which for right now looks like it's cheese whiz. I mean, but I don't know. I don't see them doing that.
Mancini at first, right?
Well, Mancini could back up Cassis on days where maybe there's a tough left-hander. Okay, something like that, because his bat's right-handed. So he could spell him, and he could also be your DH, and he could play some outfield. So he's a perfect fit for this team.
Yeah,
there's no question in my mind he's a perfect fit for this team. So why the fuck he's not here already is another question.
Well, I think you just answered your own question, because he's a perfect fit for this team.
Yeah,
that's why he's not here.
Right. That's about right.
This fucking jackass doesn't know what he's doing.
I don't even think he's going to command a ton of money or a lot of years. I think he's the kind of guy that would sign for like 3 years, 15 a year or something.
I talked about this during the week on Twitter, and I said I would do Mancini for 2 years, $34 million.
Yeah.
Or $35 million, something like that. Give him a 2-year deal. If you need to do a club option do a club option or have a $500,000 buyout. But I think you could do something like that. Two for 34. You're gonna have to overpay, because, like Tom and I have discussed, and Tom says all the time, no one wants to fucking sign here. Okay. What's his face? Thor. Okay. He signed with the Dodgers.
Thank you, sir.
Syndergaard. The Red Sox offered him a deal for more money.
Thanks for bringing that up, because at the end of the year, before the Red Sox were even linked to him, I was thinking this is the perfect guy to bring in on a 1-year deal. Come in, maybe he sucks, maybe he doesn't, maybe he's 10-5 or something in the rotation. Perfect guy to bring in on a 1-year deal, probably pretty cheap, $6, $7, $8 million. No, goes to the Dodgers. Goodbye. The Red Sox were never in on him.
What did the Dodgers give him?
That's a good question.
13
Look
years,
that up.
13 million for a 1-year deal.
That's
13.
not that
Is there
bad.
anything else on that 1 year? Is there a club option or incentive or anything? Team
No.
option, player option? No.
It's
Is it
a
straight one?
prove it deal for Syndergaard.
It's a
Yeah,
straight 1
similar
year.
to what the Bellinger deal.
Yeah.
was, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and Syndergaard is one of those players who he gets injured way too much, and then he's kind of fallen off the last 2 years. So yeah, you definitely want that's something for him. And the Dodgers are really good at, like, I know I'm going on a Dodger thing, but Dodgers are really good at cleaning up pitchers and identifying their problems. So
go get me Nate Eovaldi.
Yeah.
Bring him
I
back.
think that's what you need to do now.
Okay, 2 years, $34 million again. I'm talking that's 17 per, maybe with a team option for a third year. All right, and then I Corey Kluber, Seth Lugo.
Yeah, I like Kluber still, even though he's like 39 now.
Is he that old? I don't
He
know.
is. He's up there, man.
He's getting up there. He's had some injuries too.
We know that, but
Kluber.
But I
you
take
know
him.
what though?
Zach Greinke's 38. I don't know.
Thank you. No,
No,
thank you.
He's not mentally equipped to play here.
Probably true. Probably true.
Like, and I'm not trying to.
Kluber's
be rude.
36.
He really has
Kluber-
some problems, though, for real.
Kluber's 30. So okay. I mean, I wanted Kluber anyway. But yeah, if he's 2 years younger than I thought, you know.
He had,
Well,
30 he had 31 starts with the Rays this year.
Yeah.
He's
So
actually
this is
pretty
the thing. He should have been a Red Sox like 3 years ago.
We
But
should
they
have
let
been.
him fuck around and go to the Yankees, and then he was on Tampa Bay, and then I think he got traded. Wasn't he on Texas at some point or something? This
He
guy,
already expressed that he wants to come here.
yes, he lives in Winchester in the offseason. Yeah,
But this
He lives in,
offseason,
he
man,
lives
he's
in
already-
West Roxbury. What?
he lives in Winchester in the offseason, not far from me.
Dan, he already expressed this offseason he wants to be here. He
Yeah,
already said it.
perfect.
Right. So what the fuck is his contract?
Yeah,
Exactly.
who wants that guy?
Yeah, John
Right,
Henry's
that's
probably
why
like,
they're not
"No,
going
he
to sign him because he wants to be here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
wants 14 a year. We're only willing to go to 12. The guy's just not cut out.
11-5.
That 2-time Cy Young winner is just not cut out to be a Red Sox.
Hey, Adam, real quick. Are you catching the overall vibe of the Sox fans right now or what?
They love it. They're very excited. They're very
I'm
pumped.
perfectly
They're
content.
pumped about staying in the cellar. They're going to be, if the Pirates and Red Sox played each other all year, we might have a good.
Tom, what
good,
are you saying?
good
I'm
game.
happy as a clam.
Yeah, fucking. This is brutal, man.
Well, like, the thing with Kluber, and I talked to Cardinals fans about this because it's like, and Kluber and even Eovaldi to an extent, which I think Eovaldi is a good player. I'm looking at your pitching rotation from last year. There's a 4.56 ERA, a 3.32 ERA, 4.27 from Rich Hill, Cutter Crawford 5.47, and a 5.89 from Winchowski.
Yeah, Winkowski sucks.
You go from being the 25th worst team in pitching by starters. Corey Kluber is not going to help elevate you that much. So, I mean, I kind of understand why they wouldn't want to. They wouldn't why would you waste $14 million on a player who's not really going to help you? He's not a real ace anymore. He's not the Corey Kluber from 2018 or 16, where he was, throwing no hitters and striking out 23 players a game or whatever it was. So I kind of feel like it's the same issue with the Cardinals. Like, you got to get an ace. Honestly, you got to lock up an ace. And I know it's too late to.
I don't even think Corey Kluber pitched in the division series last year against the Indians.
No.
Or the Guardians whenever the Tampa Bay played them.
No, because it was McClanahan and Batts, I believe it was. So the top two guys for the.
I mean, I'm not expecting Corey Kluber to come in here and be the ace anymore. But they were throwing out Winkowski, who sucks. Cutter Crawford was actually pretty good.
That ERA is a little misleading on Crawford, I think.
Yeah, and I just looked. He was 3-6, but it felt like he was their best pitcher towards the end of the year.
He had
he has a little bit. He has some sack.
like a lot of the guys. Do
Yeah. And so even if Kluber can replace a guy like Rich Hill, who I actually like. I like Rich Hill, but he was not good last year.
Enough of Rich Hill. All right?
Yeah.
Go fucking retire. He's older than me.
42.
43. Yeah.
That's true. But
well, Cutter Crawford had a 4.34 FIP and a 142 WHIP, which FIP is fielding independent pitching.
Yeah, I mean the whole team they were not good last year. Just watching Cutter Crawford. I think he was a rookie last year. He was. I mean, it felt like they were in games that he was pitching. I know he ended up 3-6.
With you.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. The Rich Hill thing, though, there's a couple things with Rich Hill. All right. He's a very likable guy. You know, he's a nice person, all that stuff. He grew up in Milton, so he's a local guy, and there's that whole thing that, you know, fans get a hard on over that he's a local guy and playing for the hometown team and all that stuff, and which is fine. He reminds me of Jamie Moya. You know, he's crafted himself to throw absolute garbage at you, right? And
that's 40 miles an hour.
Like he doesn't hit. I mean, sometimes he hit 85. I don't think. I think he hits maybe low 80s, maybe, but he doesn't need to because he throws these filthy change ups and shit. So he's been able to stretch this out as a professional baseball player, like a pitcher in the major leagues, because he had to kind of recraft and, you know, learn how to pitch a certain way. That holds value to teams that need it.
Yeah.
You know, when the numbers that Logan talked about earlier with the team ERA, rotation ERA, all this stuff, it's like Rich Hill is going to float around that, you know, high 3, low 4, mid 4.
Yeah.
And that's fine if you have 3 or 4 other guys that are going to be delivering in, a run or more, less a game than that. And when you put 5 guys out there that are averaging almost fucking 5 runs or 4.7 runs in the starting rotation, he does nothing for you except that he's a local guy and he's, you know, a good dude. You know, it's like Rich Hill would be fantastic if the Sox were a good team.
Yeah, it was like when they used to carry around Tim Wakefield's mummified corpse to the fucking games in 2012. It was like, you know, could they probably just pick someone up off the scrap heap and do better? Yeah.
But look, here's my point about Corey Kluber and, you know, getting Eovaldi and Corey Kluber. That's not my number one choice.
No, but that's what's left.
That's the problem, Tom. That's what's fucking left. So we're at a point now where beggars can't be choosers here. So, you know, I'm just peeling back the fucking, you know, dead bodies to see if there's a heartbeat somewhere.
Yeah, I'm still hoping for a Michael Walker return too. I actually really liked him last year.
Back.
Yeah, but he's looking for money because he just went 10-2 last season.
Right, he took a contract to show people he could still pitch.
He's going to parlay that into a multi-year deal.
I would think
he
so.
Absolutely will. But
I'm sure Logan has something to say about Michael Walker.
But Logan, when they signed, when the Sox signed Michael Walker, up here anyway, is from the things I read and the people I talked to said, we don't expect World Series Michael Walker from 7-8 fucking years ago, whatever the hell it was.
You know,
but he's gonna
by
be
the way, he's never been the
star.
same since that World Series loss in Game 6. So
Right.
I'm a little wounded about 2013 also.
Right. So the performance, he played very well last year. He really did. I think he surprised everyone that had kind of like really, dude, Walker for $7 million? Like, come on. You can do better than that. He played well. So the guys that play well on that kind of deal, where they're like, you know what, no one else has really offered me anything. Let me show people I can still pitch. He proved he can still pitch. And they're going to let him go. It's like, what do you need to see to actually keep people? You know?
If Mookie Betts and Xander Bogaerts don't do it for you, I don't know what will.
Remember the Seinfeld episode when they were going to get the rental car?
But I put
Jerry's
a reservation
like,
on
I made a reservation. Like, yeah, we don't have any cars. And he goes, but I made a reservation.
He goes, we understand that. He's like, I don't think you do. Because if you did, I'd have a car. They're doing the same thing. It's like, no, we want you. Dog, give me the contract. Well, but we want you, though. It's like, commit to somebody. He performed to the level that you paid him for.
Oh, no
and
kidding.
then you go, I think that you're good. I'll go get this guy or bring up some fucking stiff from fucking Portland or expect the world out of people like Brian Bayo. Or the Red Sox have turned into a team of projections and promise. You know, like, oh my God, Bayo has a curveball like Pedro. It turns into this comparison thing in comps and bullshit.
It was
when
pretty
the fact
crazy.
of the matter is, these guys, I mean, I don't know. I watched Bayo's starts last year. Did you guys see anything Pedro-esque from Brian Bayo?
No.
I will say no. I'll answer for the room. No, you didn't.
The first 5 were really bad. I thought he was better towards the end of the season, though.
He was
Pedro
better towards the end of the season, and we need another year to be absolutely certain. But
he was. I mean,
I
Pedro
think-
Martinez. That's absurd. I mean, come
No,
on.
but I
Absurd,
think
but what they're doing, what fans are doing, is this whole fucking concept of what ifs. But what if Bayo turns out? But what if Cassis? But what fucking if?
What if we get Carlos Correa?
Do me a fucking favor. Go
Shut
get
the fuck up.
established major league fucking talent. And
that's
then,
what I said. Yeah.
then we can have projections. Because right now, this team is in fucking shambles. And the Bloom Anati people are like, I can't even. How do people not like what he's doing? What he's doing? He's a fucking abomination to me.
Well, like I was saying
Seriously.
earlier, what I was
get
saying,
the fuck out of here with that.
what I was saying
He's
earlier,
awful.
yeah, what I was saying earlier is that you were talking about what ifs, Tom. I said that before. There's no sure thing on any of this team except for Rafael Devers. Nobody.
One fucking sure thing is gonna walk.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Awesome. This is fucking great.
I can't even get mad. I'm so disenfranchised with this team that I'm just like past being mad about it. I just fucking
It's
hate
so
it.
ridiculous. And
Even the guys on MLB Network, said we have no clue what the Red Sox are doing.
They're a joke to the fucking country. They're a joke. A team
I don't
that
even
was in
get
the
mad at Bloom.
ALCS 2 seasons ago.
Tom, you're being double doctored right now. Tom, you're being doctored.
It is.
Right
It's
now.
like a support group. I was just gonna say I don't even blame the ownership, or I don't even blame Bloom. It's just it's all coming down from John Henry, and yeah, Bloom sucks at like you said, identifying talent, especially in trades. He's terrible. So like John Henry, I don't know. He got really drunk and watched Moneyball the night he fired Dave Dombrowski, and he thought, yeah, if I just sign Chris Pratt, we can still win games. And then he brings in Bloom, and he tells him find some Scott Hatterberg type and pay him $25 a week, and we'll still win games. And then they bring in this guy, and he just now Mookie Betts is gone, Andrew Benintendi's gone, Xander Bogaerts is gone. I was done actually. It's weird. What did it for me was when he traded Renfroe for shit, and then Schwarber walked for $22 million. And I knew right then and there, like, they're not going to sign Bogarts. And I was just like, I don't know how much I care about. Like, I can't get mad because I just don't care that much anymore. I care as much as John Henry does.
Well, the thing is like, and I understand, like, because some people are like, why do you give a fuck? Like, I can't do it. I can't watch them anymore. I don't have the mindset to be like something that I really enjoy to just fucking like boycott it. Like,
Yeah.
You shouldn't go to games. I'm like, how the fuck how can I do that? Like, I shouldn't give a shit.
Because you don't pay for them.
Fuck Bloom and fuck John Henry and the Red Sox and all this bullshit. I get the overall concept of being fucking pissed as a fan. I can't just cut them out of my everyday life. You know, it's like if I want to fuck, if I like fucking going to get something to eat, like I fucking love steak. Am I supposed to stop steak because like I don't know, some dickhead that fucking owns cows is an asshole, and I'm like, I don't want to give him my money. Like I can't think of it that way. So instead of boycotting, you know, and I've made this known many times, I'm the biggest fucking sucker going. I will be at Fenway watching a high school lineup for Christ's sake, but I'm still gonna be there hoping that in some fucking miracle that they're good, right? Am I delusional in that way? Probably.
Yes.
That's okay. I can still. I will do this. I will fucking lambaste them to people that will fucking listen. So that's what I do, and then I hope that they're good. They're not gonna be good.
No.
And people saying that they are.
So you're hoping Bloom's listening right now, going, "Fuck, we're pissing off Tom."
It's just, I don't understand how they got here, man. Like, this is a joke. Like, they're a joke now.
I told you, he got drunk and Moneyball was on fucking Comcast, and he said, "Hey, what's this all about?" And he's like, "Well, Scott Hanover."
Has anyone told John Henry that the A's didn't win that year?
Well, the funny thing is that he gets credit for he took, Theo Epstein, who was, kind of in that mold of like a Moneyball, kind of like a value guy, and then he actually gave him money to spend, and they won 2 in 4 years or whatever that was. 4 seasons.
Yeah.
It's just, and they were the best team in the new millennium, and then John Henry, as he's wont to do, he gets into these moods and he's like, "Oh no, now we're gonna blow it up and go to Ben Sherrington," and that didn't work. And then it's the miracle 2013, and now he's back in a mood where we're gonna blow it up and go to another Ben Sherrington total stiff. And who knows? Maybe a year from now he'll change his mind and he'll sign the biggest 3 free agents on the market. Yeah, I'm just sick. I'm honestly sick of them.
They're going to find the next fucking nerd out of the Ivy League to fucking run this team, is what they'll do. Because the old school baseball GMs are gone.
I'm pretty sure Dombrowski went to Cornell.
Huh?
Well, I think Dombrowski went to Cornell.
Yeah, but he wins.
Yeah. The thing about Dombrowski, I know we already talked about him, but I really do like him as a GM. I'd take him back in a second right now. The Phillies clearly, whenever he went in for that meeting, they said, "Dave, we're going to give you a fucking blank check and you're going to deliver us a World Series." And he said, "Okay."
So I think the problem with Dombrowski is this, and anybody that bashes him, he the reason why he's gone, he wanted autonomy, right? He wanted to be the decision maker, and John Henry didn't want to give that up. And as a result of that, because I think Dombrowski wanted to give Mookie Betts the money, and because of the luxury tax bullshit and everything like that, Henry said no, and I think that's what led to his departure. And the reality is that if that didn't happen, he'd still be here. He's going to go down as Epstein will be number 1, but he'll go down as the second best GM probably in 100 years for the Red Sox, because not only just winning the championship, but he means what he says and says what he means. And look at the Phillies now. They went and they got Trey Turner. They just signed Schwarber last year and so forth. They're going to be an odds-on favorite to win the World Series this year. And if they win,
Walker, Matt Strom.
Yeah, I feel like it's them and the Padres. Schwarber and Castellanos right off the bat. Like the day after he went there, he's bringing in Schwarber and Castellanos, the 2 biggest swinging dicks on the market.
And if he wins a World Series with them, man, oh man! I mean,
like I said, I'm waiting to put his fucking Hall of Fame plaque up.
Yeah.
And I agree. I mean, I might put Dan Duquette ahead of him. But, man, that doesn't mean he sucks. Like, he's clearly in the top 3. for Red Sox GM since.
The Duke did two things: Pedro Martinez and Manny Ramirez. He didn't really do much else.
Veritek and
Nomar, Veritek, the Wakefield Veritek trade. I mean, he certainly didn't.
What happened with Clemens?
I honestly, I don't know. That might have been an ownership thing too.
He said he was in the twilight of his career.
Yeah,
then he won 3 more Cy Youngs.
I think that may have also had some steroids in his body, but
Yeah, God bless him.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. I'm just saying I don't think that was a totally wrong thing to say at the time. But
don't get me wrong, I don't hate the Duke, but at the same time, he would be third on my list. He would be third.
Okay, I mean that's totally fair. I right now I'd say Theo's clearly number one, and then those two guys are the next two, and then I don't know who the next guy is. I mean,
Theo should be the commissioner of Major League Baseball.
He probably will be. He's only like 45, isn't he?
Yeah, he's younger than me.
Yeah.
He
probably will be.
So
or maybe John Henry should go crawling on his knees to him right now and ask him to come back.
Oh, that'd be sick.
That would be awesome.
So what should the Red Sox do?
What kind of are you getting him to ask?
I can't say that. There's FCC regulations.
You know what? If he was to ask Theo Epstein to come back, there would have to be ownership involvement. He would have to go get a partial of the team, 10%, something like that.
Absolutely.
It's the only way.
The main issue because he left because Lucchino's not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dan, I think that's a hot take, dude.
It's a bit of one. I mean, I kind of think it would be completely absurd, but I don't know, obviously, what their relationship is actually like behind the scenes.
Yeah, but what's more absurd that Bloom is gonna championship or Theo Epstein comes back to run the team again?
It's more absurd to think that Hein Bloom's going to get you to the playoffs again.
Let's pick him.
No, I'd go just straight up on. I think Theo.
I'll take Theo.
I don't know ownership involvement. I mean, shit. Would the team even be here if they had signed some other stiff in 2002 or whatever it was?
Well, the Billy Bean. That's who they wanted.
I don't know if they win one with Billy Bean. To be honest with you, maybe.
What makes you think that? Because Billy Bean's won so much out in Oakland.
Yeah, I know that's crazy.
He's the model of the nerds, but he's never won anything.
He would have seen a lot of value in David Ortiz.
The only thing about that statement, though, is that he's also with a team that won't spend money. So if you transplant Bean and put him in Boston, LA, or New York, and you give him a checkbook, I think you do, because look at Andrew Friedman. I mean, I'd take that guy in a heartbeat too, because he could draft, develop, and sign guys.
Right.
And he didn't have that luxury when he was in Tampa. So
yeah,
it was all draft. It was all draft. That's all he had. Now he's got a fucking open checkbook, and he knows how to spend it and get the best guy every fucking year.
Where is he now? Minnesota.
Well, but Jim, real quick about that. Yes, they do. They go out and get the high price. They get anyone they want. They should win more.
Oh, I'm not denying that.
They should have more championships than they do.
Part of that is
talent that they assemble every year.
I think part of that is just bad luck.
Is it bad luck, or is it Dave Roberts, or is it something else? Or because for the lineups they send out, the roster they put out there every year, well, they should win every fucking year.
They just won 175,000 ball games this year, and they
I know, but they didn't win.
And they didn't win. Exactly.
I don't give a fuck about regular season.
This is where we need Jason.
I get you.
And that's Jason today.
No, and it's a great question, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, let's face it, there is some luck involved, right? I mean, in any playoff game, in any baseball game, you're 90% talent, 10% luck. You got to have luck with just about anything. I mean, you could have a fucking ball bounce the wrong way. You got to have an umpire that calls a play wrong that leads to an extended inning. Anything could happen. So there's got to be some luck involved. But you know what? At the end of the day, at the end of the day, if you're an LA Dodgers fan right now, you got to be loving life because every fucking year you are the odds-on favorite to win that division, right?
Yeah.
You
That's
are the
it.
odds-on fucking favorite to win that division year in and year out. And then the following year, they're going to do something to try to improve that team or tweak it in a way, and they're not afraid to spend the money. That's the problem
I
that
remember
we're now
those days
facing.
around here.
That's the problem that we're now facing is they're not doing that.
I do agree with that. As far as like on the West Coast, they're like the Yankees used to be. You're right. Like they're in it every year. They're always looking to improve. But now they got the Padres coming right up their ass.
Yeah.
Well, the Padres
It's similar to the early 2000s.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's the modern Sox Yankees, early 2000s. Yeah.
For what it's worth with the Padres, they're going to fall flat on their face at some point.
Not with Captain Bogarts there.
No. Here's the point.
Dan.
Here's the point. They're spending all this money that they don't have. Okay, so where's it coming from?
Look, I'm not an accountant for the Padres. I'm just saying.
No, I know.
As far as the team on the field goes, I appreciate that they're willing to spend an absurd amount of money.
But I can write $1 million checks too that my ass can't cash. So at some point it's going to stop working for them, and they're going to have to just unload like the fucking Marlins in the early 2000s, where they signed and brought in everyone. Yes. Won a championship, and everyone was gone.
Yeah, but you make your run, and if you try, you shoot your load, and if you miss, and you come back at it. You get rid of those huge deals, and you come back at it again. At least they're fucking doing it.
That's what and the Dodgers are good with that, and the Yankees are good with that, and the Red Sox are the ones that are changing their philosophy as much as anyone changes their underwear.
Yeah, the Sox used to do that, and now we have to go fucking dumpster dive every fucking season to find out what stiff or a fucking scrub is coming off an injury.
And that's right, because Bloom is and the Bluminati is enumerated with finding the next diamond in the rough or the next has-been who can come out and be Michael Wacha, a guy that probably would have been out of baseball and comes back and has an 800 winning percentage. They get off on that.
I understand finding a diamond in the rough. I'm okay with it, but I don't want to have Whitlock jammed down my fucking throat every time you say something negative about Bloom.
Right.
I get it. I get this.
And you know what, Tom?
The Red Sox don't have to dumpster dive. That is the problem. Bloom is not the guy to be running the team with the money that he has. He's not. Correct.
And you know what? As far as Whitlock's concerned, because I know some guys on Twitter, they rub that in my face too.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Look,
it's so brutal.
It was lucky. He's a Rule 5 draft guy. It just is luck. That's all it is.
Well, he was a good player who had 2 Tommy John surgeries. Okay, and the Yankees couldn't.
Gamble, and you won.
The Yankees couldn't keep him, and they said,
it's luck.
Might as well give it a shot. And then, so you're going to miss the playoffs and then rub Garrett Whitlock in my face. And by the way, they keep fucking with Whitlock by putting him in the rotation. He's clearly an Andrew Miller type, a guy who comes out of the bullpen and can do whatever for you. But they keep putting him in the rotation. He doesn't look good in the rotation.
They're taking
my buddy
Whitlock.
Brad, right? Me and Brad talk about the Sox on a fucking daily basis, okay?
I think I know Brad.
Tommy, he goes, they're Daniel Botting him.
But Daniel Botting him. That's exactly it.
And it's like, I didn't know botting would be a thing. Like, holy shit, they're botting them. But they are. Yep. They're doing the exact fucking thing.
And they're doing that with kid. Tom, they're doing that with Hawk too.
It's like.
Yeah, they did do it with Hawk too. And they fucked him up way worse.
This is what I say. This is what I'll say about Bloom and his overall supposed fucking model that he does. He thinks that he can just get anyone and put them anywhere based on the money that he wants to spend on that particular position, right? So if a kid is like, well, we don't need a first baseman really, but he's a first baseman, but he's athletic, so we'll just put him at third. Or, well, he played second base in high school, so I know he's a center fielder for the past fucking 12 years, but he has experience in the infield. We'll put him there. Like,
Tom,
I don't understand this thing.
You know what it is?
There's positions on a fucking baseball field, okay? Do yourself and all of us a fucking favor. Find guys that play the position that you need, as opposed to just getting some fucking stiff in some guy reclamation project and put him where you fucking need him, even though he's never fucking played it ever in his life.
The reason
why is that a fucking novel concept? Am I missing something or what?
Tom, the reason why they do that is because they go and they say, all right, we're going to sign this guy and blah, blah, blah. They don't take the human element into consideration. These are human
the nerds
beings.
Don't factor in anything.
No, it's the nerds. They look at the numbers and they don't look at the fact that this is a human being playing a position. Why was Christian Arroyo playing right field this season?
Oh, my God.
He is not an outfielder.
He's not an MLB player.
Well, I like Arroyo. But the point being is that he should not have been a right fielder. He's not an outfielder. Yes, they get these guys and they want to figure out where to play them afterwards because they look at the numbers. It's like a fucking video game. They take the human element out of it and they don't even consider that. And that's the problem.
And they base them on where their draft position. Like Arroyo was a high pick.
I think it was a first round.
I think it was San Diego, right?
He was
San
a
Diego
first round.
Yeah.
So he didn't turn out to be what San Diego thought he would be. His projected, typical prospect and all that crap. So Bloom looks at it like, well, he was a first round pick. We can get him for whatever it is. And I like Arroyo, for what he is. Understand what he is.
I look at him as a utility infielder at best. I don't know. I mean, maybe he's been better lately. I've never seen anything in him.
No,
I mean, you guys.
He's a platoon player, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Filling second baseman is what I think.
On a team like the Red Sox with the resources that they have, you should not, in any fucking which way, ever, be platooning up to 3 positions a season. You have too much money to fulfill the fucking role that you need. You don't need the Franchies and the Dahlbecks and the Arroyos and all these guys to start 90 to 100 fucking games.
That was exactly what I wanted to say.
Someone that can play every fucking day. Go get them. Go get them and stop fucking selling these guys that are coming off second fucking injuries, ACLs, fucking Tommy John, torn labrums, all this bullshit. Go get the fucking guys that can play, pay them, and let them fucking play.
Like Xander Bogaerts?
Yes.
Like Xander Bogaerts. Who plays 155 games a year, doesn't get hurt, and
never gets hurt.
Plays a quality shortstop and is an impact bat. Go figure.
Xander Bogaerts and Correa. When this whole thing started with Bogaerts last year, and Correa was a free agent, everyone's like, go get Correa, go get Correa, go get Correa. So I'm like, do you understand, like, the amount of games played between the two since Correa went full-time in 2015 are like 3-1 in Bogaerts' favor. Why am I paying a guy $35 million fucking dollars to play a third of the games that I can pay my guy for?
And he's a better offensive player, Bogaerts is. And the defense Correa plays is overrated. And Tom, by the way, this is just perfect. This is perfect segue. The guys you just rattled off, fucking Cordero, Bobby Dahlbeck, and Arroyo all played right field. They had a right fielder, a guy you might have heard of named Mookie Betts just 3 years ago. And they're putting out these – it was a total goat fuck this year in right field. Bobby Dahlbeck playing right field. Franchi Cordero, Christian Arroyo. It was awful.
But I gotta watch the net.
We're gonna do that at shortstop now.
Nesson posts that. Oh my God, Dahlbeck took fucking practice at second base.
No, Dan, they're not gonna do that at shortstop because Story's gonna play short
until he gets injured.
And you're either gonna have Kike at second and no center fielder.
Terrible idea.
or you're going to have Kike in center, and you're going to have no second baseman.
It'll be Arroyo, I would think.
It's going to be Arroyo.
And the problem is he's going to be hurt.
And Trevor Story's going to be hurt.
And you're going to wind up having Bobby fucking Dahlbeck playing second base this year.
Bobby was a shortstop in college, and so when Kike Hernandez and Trevor Story get injured, we'll have Bobby Dahlbeck playing shortstop, and I don't know,
Dan, that's
Rob
what they do.
Refsnyder playing center field.
That's what they do. They go.
I would rather have
Refsnyder.
I kind of like Refsnyder as a fourth outfielder, but
at least he gives a fuck and he tries.
yeah. Well, again, I mean, a fourth outfielder. Love the guy, but you're trading Mookie Betts for Bobby Dahlbeck and Franchi Cordero in right field. Give me a fucking break.
That's because he didn't want to be there, and then they didn't want to pay him. But I think there's a bigger narrative on he didn't want to be here. Money talks, bullshit walks. I think if they gave him the money, he would have stayed.
That's exactly what I think too. I don't think he hated it here so much that he wouldn't have just taken the money.
It sucks that they had to trade Mookie Betts, right? But I'm more upset about the return on Mookie Betts.
Yeah, the return was ass.
So it's like if you told me, like you mentioned Bueller earlier, if you said, hey, we're trading Mookie Betts, but we're getting their number one fucking prospect starting pitcher, front of the rotation, ace prospect. Okay.
Say you got.
But you didn't. You tried to get the fat kid with the bad shoulder initially, the Graterol kid. Verdugo had all those issues with the sexual assault and stuff in college and all that shit. It's like that was the nightmare to the PR people at fucking for the Red Sox who live and die for PR. All this fucking hits that they're taking right now, I don't think they can keep up with the negative impact of all the moves that he has done or not done so far this year. The Mookie Betts thing was a joke. Verdugo is a serviceable Major League Baseball player at best.
Bloom cannot evaluate talent. It really starts and stops right there. He cannot evaluate talent. He has no track record of being able to evaluate and bring in anybody that could be, an impact bat or pitcher.
I feel like shoved analytics down his face.
I mean, he is analytics. He's made of fucking analytics. He's the Matrix.
And that's why
I have said for a long time now, and I've been against the full-on analytical mode for a long fucking time. I can't even tell you how many conversations I've had, how many times I've had to call in and fucking complain about how things are run with the full analytical mode. I understand that these advanced metrics, to me, they're just off the wall, like crazy stuff, but I understand that some of those hold water. There's value in some of the things that they look at. My problem, which I have said forever now, you can't go 100% balls to the wall, full analytical stuff. You have to have some sort, like Jim said earlier, you can't measure the hot, you can't measure the drive, you can't measure the balls, you can't measure the clutch and late, you can't measure any of that stuff based on a fucking spreadsheet that you get before the game. So you have to take into account that, yes, he does this well then. Yes. What do you see? What do you see? Do you watch? Because I honestly, it's almost like you're convinced that Bloom doesn't watch baseball. It's like, well, yeah, what am I looking at? You know what I'm saying? So it's like he gets the projections and what the numbers say, and he builds a team by that. Good, bad, or indifferent at this point. I have no issues with using analytics. My issue is when you abandon everything else and just go straight numbers. Straight numbers will not put a winning product on the team, on the field.
Logan, you got something?
At that point, you're playing fantasy baseball.
Yeah, I completely agree. As a analytical nerd myself, I believe that my saying is analytics needs to be used as a tool and not as a strategy.
Exactly.
Exactly like how Kevin Cash with the Tampa Bay Rays taking out Blake Snell in the 2020 World Series. That was a stupid thing to do. So, yeah, I completely agree with that. What I will say is, and it's kind of been something I've been wanting to circle around is, you talk about the Padres a little bit earlier, and the thing with the Padres is, right now their contract with Tatis, it was 14 years, $340 million. Right now in 2023, he's making $7 million. That's all he's making. It's backloaded.
It's all backloaded.
Yeah, in
They may move that
2034.
too.
Yeah, in 2034, he's going to be making $36 million, which adjusted for inflation, baseball inflation, that's going to be really manageable.
2036, yeah.
I
think they're going to move that. I think they're going to move him, and they're probably going to let Machado walk. They're trying to win this year, and then maybe they retool and try to win again in the next few years.
Well, that's another thing is Manny Machado, he has an opt-out after this year. And then they have Juan Soto for 2 more years because he's got arbitration. They might – so the thing is that – and the reason why they got Xander Bogaerts was because they wanted a backup plan in case Machado walked or Soto walked. And so the thing is that the way that they're doing business right now is really smart, honestly. They have kind of a backup plan. They locked up Tatis early because he's not making that much money for the next 5 years, I think. He's going to be – I mean, you got him on the cheap. It's backloaded. Yeah, you're going to pay for it later. But that's what the Red Sox kind of need to do. What they're doing is they're doing this weird thing where they're just like, oh, we're going to short-term it. You got to lock Devers down. If Devers doesn't
it won't happen.
If Devers doesn't accept a contract, then you got to trade him.
Logan.
Yeah.
They're not going to offer. They're going to offer him something foolish. Machado's already said he's opting out. They're gonna make the run at Devers.
Yeah.
They know. Like, the Sox know. I mentioned this earlier. They know now, over a year ahead, that San Diego is going to be the suitor that they're going to need to beat out to keep Devers here if they don't trade him at the deadline. Because I have zero. It's zero.
Yeah.
They may have factored that into the Bogaerts deal. If we bring this guy in, we have a better shot at getting Devers next year.
Very.
I mean, I swear to God, I really believe that.
It's
it's like when the Celtics brought in Brad Stevens, and they're like, "Well, 2 years from now, we're going to get Gordon Hayward." They're looking at it like, Devers is a free agent next year. This guy can help. I mean, if anybody can help bring him to this team, it's Xander Bogaerts.
The $400 million is going to be the main thing, and I know that the Red Sox aren't going to do that. And I think that Machado walking out, you're essentially letting Machado walk for the money that you're going to pay Devers, because what's Devers, 5 years younger than Machado?
So are you better off trading them?
If they're not going to sign him,
are you better off trading Devers then to get something?
Yes, but the problem is that Bloom will
get shit for him. Yeah,
I don't want Chaim Bloom in charge of trading Devers.
I didn't want Chaim Bloom in charge of trading Mookie Betts either. But
can't
evaluate.
I wouldn't trust the guy to trade Hunter Renfroe.
Fucking deal we've been dealt.
Well, he screwed that up too, Dan.
Yeah. So Tom, I mean, the guy couldn't even get a good return for Hunter Renfroe. I
brought Jackie fucking Bradley back.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It probably is the best thing to do right now. The way the team's going is to trade Devers, but you're going to get shit for him.
Dude,
I mean, that's the problem.
A fucking sin that it.
You might as well just let him play, because the 30 home runs that he's going to have this year are better than any players you're going to get back for him.
Good point.
Yeah.
So what if it's a team that
would you rather
has
get
major
something
league
back instead of just letting him walk?
Yeah.
They didn't for Bogaerts.
I honestly, would I like to? Yes. What they're going to get back, I don't trust that they'll get anything for him.
No, he's going to get totally fucking porked in the trade. He's not capable of. He's not capable of. We've seen it. He's not capable of it. He can't do it.
First off, every team is going to be in on Devers except maybe the Astros and the Cardinals. Yeah. Right. Every other team's going to be in on the guy.
Yeah, but you're already starting knowing.
You can't even count them out, Dan. They could turn around, move Devers as a DH, or put him at first.
Well, I forgot about that. He does probably project. He's probably moving from third base soon.
The Cardinals.
San Diego will be the first.
Devers, no matter what.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, I think God forbid the Yankees will be in on him. You know that.
Yeah. No, we'll just
team
swap
will be on
Machado for Devers. That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Every team will
You know?
be on him.
It-
Every team.
Yeah. So like I mean I feel like I think they're doing like this weird thing where they're like playing for the future in their rebuild, but they're also trying to win now too in some weird way. And it's just like it's a weird thing that they're doing, and it's not very. It doesn't
Well,
make sense to me.
Logan, they can't make up their mind.
They
That's the problem.
tell you that they want to win now. They don't, because
And-
if this is them trying to win now, I would hate to see when they're not trying to win.
Yeah.
I mean, what is Devers? I mean, he's the third best third baseman in all the league. I mean, it's Arenado, Machado, and Devers, right? It's those three guys, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
you get a pretty good load if you like. I mean, especially if you had got players from like who had been in the majors for a couple years. And I'm only going to use the Cardinals as an example. Like you could get Dylan Carlson, who has 6 years left. You could get Nolan Gorman, who has a couple years left too. You could get some very solid major league ready players who transforms. Yeah, you're losing Devers, but you're adding three bats in the lineup who and kind of evens it out a little bit. You're evenly dispersing the wealth to where it's not all on one player. And it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that scene in Moneyball where they say you can't replace Jason Giambi, so we're going to recreate him in the aggregate.
Yeah,
and so they
yeah.
want three players who can get at least a 345 on base percentage. And that's kind of the thing that you need to be trying to do.
It all sounds great, but
Yeah.
you gotta not forget that baseball is a business, and they gotta sell seats, they gotta sell tickets and merchandise. And when you get rid of some of these guys, whether it be a Bogarts or a Devers or whatnot,
Mookie Betts.
you gotta be able to realize, what do I do now to sell tickets?
I mean, look at the Mookie Betts example is prime. Yeah, okay, we can recreate Mookie Betts in the aggregate with Hunter Renfroe, Jeter Downs, Alex Verdugo, and Connor Wong. It just didn't work out. Now, it didn't help that they traded Renfroe for basically nothing too. But I mean, and Renfroe was actually a good player, but the guys they got back for Mookie Betts, I mean, if that's what you're going to get back for Mookie Betts, what are you going to get back for Rafael Devers?
Yeah, I mean,
I just don't trust him. I just don't trust him to make the trade.
No,
if they
I get
fire
that.
him and bring in Theo Epstein, and if Theo Epstein wants to trade him, okay, fine. Then maybe we can talk. But this guy, no.
Well, guys, it's about 4:15. I gotta head out. So it's been fun. It's been real.
Sounds good, Jim.
Jim, nice meeting you.
Yeah, you guys too. Take care. Hope to see you again sometime soon.
Nice seeing you again, Jim. I didn't realize it was 4 o'clock already. Holy cow.
Yeah, I gotta
I didn't
go.
realize it was
I
4
know
o'clock.
Tom just signed off. It looks like so. Just tell him I had to run, and hopefully do it again sometime soon.
Sounds good.
All right,
Thanks, Jim.
Yes, let's do it again, Jim. Jim, how people get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can reach me on Twitter at Jim Delfino, or on Facebook too. Whatever you'd like.
Dansby Swanson just signed with the
All right.
Cubs,
Hey,
by the
Jim.
way.
Nice.
Did he
Good
go?
move by the Cubs. Smart
Who
move
just
by
signed?
the Cubs.
Just signed Swanson.
Wow.
Well, in real time, I'm proven right once again.
All
right, guys, take care.
News.
Bye-bye.
See you, Jim.
Hey, guys.
Have a good one.
All right, Jim.
Jeez.
Jeff Passan just broke that news.
Oh, sorry, I missed Jim. I had to go grab a beer real quick.
Tom, you hear the big news?
What happened?
Dansby Swanson to the Cubs, kid. I told you, I'm proven right in real time.
Well,
Once again.
let's be honest. If you miss out on Xander Bogaerts and then you go out and get Dansby Swanson, I think I would be more pissed. Like, because Dansby Swanson, we don't know exactly how much he's getting right now, but
Well,
I'm sure he's going to get at least $20 million.
Yeah,
yeah,
Logan,
so-
the funny thing is, I said this earlier before you hopped on.
Yeah.
given someone like Dansby Swanson like a 8-year deal after we've had the Marcelo Maya thing jammed down our throat for so long at this point.
Yeah.
That's what we hear, that they couldn't give a shortstop that kind of money in that term. If they turned around, let Bogarts leave, signed Dansby Swanson for the same 8 years, then they'd have to own up to that, which we know that they don't do here. So at this point, if they sign Swanson, you take all the leverage away of moving Mayer because they know you have to move him. So if they're going to suck for the next few years, which it seems like they're gonna, they should think about moving Mayer. How about that?
Yeah.
This is a good reminder of a list I made earlier, Tom, that I thought you might appreciate. I'm going to rattle off a bunch of names, and it'll be obvious what it is pretty quickly, okay?
I think I know already, but yes, I can't wait to hear it.
All right. Casey Kelly, Michael Bowden, Lars Anderson, Anthony Renato, Ryan Kalish, Jackie Bradley, Blake Swihart, Henry Owens, Jay Groom, Brian Mata, Yohan Moncada, Bobby Dahlbeck, Jeter Downs, Michael Chavis, and Jaron Duran.
Mm-hmm.
These are all guys that have been the number one prospect in the Red Sox system in the last 12 years.
Yep.
And
pretty bad, dude.
None of them are there anymore.
Now, obviously, there's been some good ones: Devers, Bogarts, Mookie Betts. The guys they don't pay. But the list of guys that I just rattled off have all been either number one or number two in the Red Sox system since 2009.
Yep. And what has happened to the majority of those guys?
None of those guys are playing. I mean, there's a couple that are still playing. Yohan Moncada is an okay player. Michael Chavis is still playing for the Pirates.
They should bring Chavis back. They need a first baseman.
Yeah, but how much is Chavis going to play now that they signed Carlos Santana?
Well, that's what I mean. Chavis has been made expendable. They should bring Chavis back and platoon him.
Is that the Carlos Santana, the outfielder?
Yes.
Oh no, that was Danny.
No, the 37-year-old first baseman.
I'm thinking of Danny Santana. Carlos Santana is the guitar player.
Yes. Black Magic
Played
Woman.
for the Indians, played for the White, played for the Phillies for a little bit.
More
Royals.
popular with Smooth with Rob Thomas from Matchbox.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's what I know him from, but if he plays baseball too. But anyway, my point is, we're getting excited for Marcelo Meyer, who's definitely still 2 years away at least.
Oh, that's not what Twitter tells you.
Yeah, I know, dude. He's playing this year. He's gonna have fucking
MVP. They're gonna win the World Series.
Who's the kid from the Astros? Pena.
Yes.
Jeremy Pena.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a Jeremy Pena season this year.
Yeah. I've been watching this team for too long to listen to the same rhetoric about these number one fucking prospects, man.
Exactly.
And your list proves it, by the way.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've as a kid, you would hear about these guys and they're talking about and just like they never panned. I won't say never.
No, I mean, but the guys who panned out, you know the names: Benintendi, Bogarts,
Correct.
Betts, Devers. Those were the guys,
and they're all gone.
And they're all gone.
Yep.
Even Devers, they're all gone.
Yes. Yep. Devers is as good as gone to me right now, which is very sad.
In my mind, it's basically a done deal.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
I mean, it should be, honestly. Get something for him now, and you're going to get you're going to get real stuff or players back for him now instead of the trade deadline, where you'll get a couple of good players. But if you give someone the opportunity to have a full season with Devers, you're going to get a lot more than just 2 months with Devers. And I think that's why you need to do it now.
Logan, I would agree with you if it wasn't Bloom the one that has the.
No,
this is what me and Jim both just said too.
You know, it's the track record trade wise. Woof, you're talking. Bad news. So I don't trust that he would get back the haul that Devers should command. But the thought of trading that kid is fucking gross.
Yeah, it does suck for sure. But honestly, someone said, you should have signed Devers last year when Xander Bogaerts didn't when he rejected your contract idea.
When he
or
rejected
extension.
your so-called offer, the add a year to the 3 on the opt-out.
Yeah, and that's it. That was stupid on their part. That's what I don't get that. It just doesn't make
Welcome
sense
to
to
the
me.
club.
Seriously.
Yeah. Like Cardinals, the Cardinals front office, they don't do jack shit in the offseason. They had so many needs. They had a catching need. They kind of filled that, but they should have gone and gotten Sean Murphy. They need a shortstop. They haven't gotten a shortstop. They're not going to get a shortstop now. They had so many needs and they refused to do it. And then the Red Sox, they have so many needs and then they just let people walk. So I honestly, I can't believe I'm saying it. I feel worse about the Red Sox. I feel worse for Red Sox fans than I do for being a Cardinal fan. And, it makes me a little bit happy that my GM is.
Well, you know what's funny, though? There's a funny thing with, like, the total – there's two sides of this, all right?
Mm-hmm.
There's, like, people like me and Dan and Jim who are legitimately pissed about the upcoming season and going forward, right?
Yeah.
Then you have the Bluminati people that, puppies and rainbows no matter what. And they will tell you, honest to God, this is what they say. They are World Series contenders, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you ask them, how do you come to this conclusion? Because
They don't have it.
It's absurd. They don't have it. They simply, we trust Bloom.
No, you know what it is? Did you see the tweet last night? What is the fucking guy? Wyatt?
Oh,
Mills?
Wyatt Mills.
I keep wanting to call him Wade Miley because he sucks just as hard. Wyatt Mills. I guess I could just say it. So Tyler Milliken, who's one of the main Illuminati fucking guys. Yeah. He posted that Wyatt Mills and oh god, who was the other pitcher? It's another one of their suck pitchers. They have like they're both top 75th percentile in extension rates in the MLB. I'm not making this shit up. I'm gonna send you the tweet right now.
I know you're not.
Did you see it? Yeah. It was Mills and maybe fuck. So, but extension rate. So the length that the pitcher moves from the mound as he's delivering the pitch, which is something no one's ever thought about in the history of the sport.
It was so funny.
In the
Dan,
history
I was making a list. I was making a list this morning of all the pitches that I'd love to watch that have a fantastic extension rate.
Yeah. You know what's weird though? If you think about it, like remember like Josh Beckett and John Lester, like they had pretty lazy deliveries. Those two guys. Especially Beckett. Like he would just like slightly kick up his left leg and then just throw the pitch. But those two guys were like fucking, especially in the playoffs, the balls. Their extension rate was like half of some of these Chris Sale types who, Chris Sale has like 6 foot long legs. But I mean,
he's like Chris Sale's like 7 feet tall.
Yeah, like who gives a shit about the extension rate of any pitcher unless you're really getting into it about Randy Johnson, who was like 9 feet tall,
right?
And that probably helped him. But that's their answer. Like, Wyatt Mills and his extension rate is in the 95th percentile in the MLB. I mean, that's how we're going to win games this year. I'm not even making this shit up. I'm not
enjoyed looking at baseball cards when I was a kid for what the extension rate was.
Dude, I'm not creative enough to make this shit up.
They are.
I'm trying to find the fucking tweet. Maybe he deleted it because it was so.
Well, the funny thing is that because Milliken is a diehard baseball guy, but he's a diehard analytical guy. Like he couldn't be more different than the way that most of us. He's a lot younger than me. He's
younger than me. I think he's like 22.
Yeah, he's young. He's mid-20s anyway. So
yeah,
he's a different kind of baseball fan than me. But I mean, I like the passion the kid has, and he wants the team to succeed. But again, you have to at some point, you have to realize that there's no plan or direction for what they're doing. And you don't have to sugarcoat every move or non-move that is made. A fan, the way I consider a fan, me being a fan, is you want the team to fucking do well. You want them to make good decisions. And when they do, you praise them for it and say, fucking great job, sick move. When they don't, and they do what Bloom has been doing, then you should rip the fucking team to shreds, which is what I do. And you can call me a fucking bad fan and I'm a pessimist and I'm all this bullshit. Half the fucking people that call me that and say that, either one, don't have the passion for the fucking team that I do, or you simply don't get it because you're a young nerd and you don't pay attention to what anyone older than you thinks. I was told that if you use the term eye test, you're too old to watch today's baseball. I'm 49, dude. I'm not 89.
I remember that was going around. Remember, they were saying clutch and late doesn't exist, and there was an interview with David Ortiz with some big name, fucking either baseball guy or ESPN guy, and he was like, "If clutch and late doesn't exist, how do you explain David Ortiz?" And David said, "I didn't think I had anything to lose at the plate in the 2004 ALCS, and I just fucking swung." Yep. And it's like, I mean, if you don't think clutch and late exists, look at that man's playoff career. Great playoff.
In 2018, he batted almost 700.
2013, you mean?
I'm sorry, 2013.
Yeah. 688. I'll never forget it because it was the most absurd thing I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Yeah.
Dan, they made that special on Nesson where him and Tom Caron went through every at bat. Did you see that?
Yes. It came out during the pandemic, right? I think I saw it when it first came out, but it's been so long I need to rewatch it.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And he talked about every pitch at every at bat.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit I love.
It's unbelievable. So guys like Ortiz, like just what he said, if there's no clutch and late, then who am I? Like he fucking thrived on it. That was his thing.
You could argue he may have been the best clutch and late hitter in the history. But I mean, there's a couple other names you could throw out there, Reggie Jackson and whoever. But I mean, he's certainly on the short list.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah,
without a doubt. And I don't envision them finding a diamond in the rough like that ever again.
So. I found the tweet, by the way. It's Tyler Milliken. By the way, a very passionate fan of the Red Sox. He just has a very misplaced sense of, I don't know, intelligence, I guess is how I would put it.
It's just what he pays attention to the most.
It's just you want to throw away guys like Mookie Betts and Xander Bogaerts at the expense of this. I can't wait for Wyatt Mills and John Schreiber to become best friends. Wyatt Mills, 87th percentile in extension rate. John Schreiber, who, by the way, was the best guy Bloom brought in last year. 71st percentile in extension rate in the MLB. I mean, those are the kind of numbers that I don't know why we even bother looking at batting average.
I just don't read it anymore. I mean, you can go on
batting average sucks.
You can go on Baseball Reference.
I love batting average. I get a hard dick when I see a 330 batting average.
That is pretty sexy,
Logan, the thing is, it's funny because you're a lot younger than me too. I think me and Adam are a little older than both you guys, right? So when we were younger, the stats that came up was the slash, they call it now because it's fancier. But it was average home runs and RBIs. That's all anyone gave a shit about.
That's all I still really give a shit.
If you were Ricky Henderson and
I think that's all they knew how to put on.
They put your stolen bases up. But when and again, I've talked about this too. When they moved into bringing on OPS, right? And I'm like, all right, what is this? So I start paying attention and I look into what OPS is. Fine, I'm okay with OPS. But then they changed it. And it's OPS plus, and it's this, and it's that. So
I was good with OBP too. OBP good.
I love OBP.
Yeah.
I love OBP, and that's the thing they're selling the Japanese kid on because he's always like fucking over 400 or something.
in Japan, by the way. But when they started going into these full-on analytical things where I legitimately have no time to learn about what it is. Like when I watch baseball, I don't want to have to do homework. All right. And you're making me do homework because I have to figure out with these acronyms and all this bullshit that they post. I don't know what it means. So I got to go look in and then I got to read the fucking algorithm of what it is that makes this number and decide what's good or bad. And, and what am I looking at? And guys like Milliken, and again, no disrespect to Milliken. He watches baseball a different way than I do.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I didn't mean to trash him. By the way, I just want.
He just doesn't. He
misses.
Doesn't that like what he looks at is those numbers. I don't know how you watch a game and see the numbers that he says is good. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you tell me he had 95 RBI, I know that he knocks in a lot of runs.
Yeah.
If you tell me that he has a high FIP or a newly found stat by Dan today, the extension rate, I don't know how to watch that and go, oh my God, do you see how much shorter his extension rate is from the guy that pitched the other night? Like, it's not.
It's similar to
it's not something I want to pay attention to.
Remember when the spin rate was a big thing like 2 or 3 years ago? They were talking about Garrett Richards' fucking spin rate on his curveball and all that horse shit. And the guy comes here and he was like, what, 4 and 13? He was horrendous.
Yes.
But he had like a top tier spin rate on his fucking fastball. Yep. Exactly. And you know what really exposed it to me was when they said Xander Bogaerts is by UBR,
by definition a bad defensive player.
I think it's like ultra zone rating or something. He's the worst shortstop in the league.
The UZR, Dan.
UZR, he's the worst shortstop in the league, but his fielding percentage was like 987 or something. He was like above average by fielding percentage. But then they were like, but by UZR and UZR plus, he's the worst shortstop in the league. And it's just like, dude, that's just simply not true. I mean, just watch the game.
Yeah, the defensive analytics are not as solid as the offensive one, which is why I don't really read them. There's a story last year about Trey Turner, like he was getting shelled in the defensive analytics, and he called the guy who pretty much wrote the book on defensive analytics, and he said all you had to do was take 2 steps to the right and set there, and then because they I guess they tell by how many steps you have to take for a ground ball, and which is so stupid. His analytics went up like a whole bunch. So that's why I don't really look at the defensive analytics. And like Xander, that's kind of something where like with the eyeball test. I don't watch every Boston Red Sox game, but I know that Xander Bogaerts is a good defensive shortstop.
He's an above average defensive shortstop, and the fact that they were calling him the worst defensive shortstop in the league was purely fiction. I mean, it was just not true.
Yeah. By the way,
I do watch every Red Sox.
Swanson signed for 7 years, $177 million.
Ooh, that's not bad for the Cubbies.
7 years, 177. Yeah,
25.2.
Oh yeah, that's. I think that's an overpay by the Cubs, but whatever.
It's market value, man. He's the last guy on the board. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's amazing, but the Cubs blew the whole thing up 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Bryant Rizzo.
They're a solid team now. But I'm sorry, Tom. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I wanted to.
Oh no problem. No, it's
breaking
fine.
News.
No, I was saying like I do watch every game, and when people started coming out with those stats, those defensive metrics, saying how poor he plays and this and that, I'm like, I'm yet to remember a game off the top of my head where you were like, well, if Bogaerts was more athletic, he could have got to that ball. He blew this game and this and that. So I, reply to people that were posting this because you get littered with the fucking spray shots and all this bullshit.
Yeah, UZR plus 20.
All the stats that I have no time for at all.
but what I found out and what I feel is what happens in the analytical world is that when they don't agree on a player's value the way that a lot of people do, they fabricate and make up and put together these algorithms that will show that their point is valid and ours is not.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's stupid.
And that's frustrating because it's like we've all watched Xander Bogaerts for every fucking game he's been here. He's as solid a fucking professional baseball player as I've ever seen watching the Red Sox.
Yeah.
He is an everyday fucking solid fucking player. And the analytical world, the people that would come back at me would say all he does is get to balls that he should get to.
Yeah.
And it's like, hold on a minute. Hold on. So he's penalized for getting to every ball that he should get to because he doesn't fucking dress it up enough for you. He doesn't sprawl out and
that's
do the fucking Jeter fucking bullshit and all that.
Troy Tulowitzki, right?
He doesn't do 360s before he throws the first.
But that's the thing, Logan. Those are the kinds of things that fans like myself or Dan or Adam or whoever, we hear that's the counter. They come back at us with something like that. And it's like, really? Like, so he does exactly what he should do?
Yeah.
You're telling me that he's the worst in the league because of that?
I mean, come on.
That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
He had 10 errors in 2022, which I know doesn't really go into the defensive analytics, but I mean, a 9.83.
No, but at shortstop, that's not much.
Yeah.
And he actually should have been the Gold Glove this year, but they gave it to Jeremy Pena, who had like 18 errors.
But he gets the balls he shouldn't get to.
Yeah, and he gets the ALCS MVP. That's what it really is.
Yeah, come on.
The thing with so I think that's really what it is. Like they want the Troy Tulowitzki, but there's only 2 or 3 guys at any given time that look like that, right? And I always thought, like, did Derek Jeter look like Troy Tulowitzki during his career? No, he was the exact same fucking guy. Solid player, always in the right position, makes the easy-looking play, doesn't make the ridiculous play.
Again, another ultimate pro athlete.
Yes, didn't miss a lot of games. For his era,
did what he should do.
Yeah, for his era, and led the team and won 5 and won a bunch of Silver Sluggers. Same kind of shit.
Yep. Yeah, we don't want those guys.
No, they're just.
Yeah, we don't want
what? No, you don't need them. You don't need them. We got Trevor Story, who's going to spend half the year on the DL,
and we have Marcelo Maya coming up.
Excuse me, the IL. Marcelo Myers is going to be here just under 3 years. We got Christian Arroyo playing second. I still don't get the attraction to Christian Arroyo, but if you guys like him, you guys like him.
No, I like him for what he is. I'm not. He's not an everyday second baseman.
Well, that's my thing. Like I think of him as a utility infielder.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what he is.
Right now, he's the starting second baseman.
Yes, because Bloom blows.
Okay, all right. Next point. Yeah, the Tulowitzki thing, fucking ridiculous.
It's just a lot of what ifs, man. And for some reason, the Red Sox fans now are all right with these. Well, what if he does, and what if he doesn't, and what if he does? It's like, stop with the what ifs. Let the guy play, And if I'm proven wrong, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I want them to be good. I want them to play well. So if the people that are telling me, like, well, you don't know what you're talking about because of this, then I hope that the guy that you're pumping up performs. That means that the team is better. That makes me feel good, and then we're all set. But if you're going to commit me and tell me this and that, and he performs in the way that I feel he's going to perform, then be prepared for me to tell you to go fuck yourself.
Well, it's just like, when was the last time?
Is that fair?
Tom, it's just like, when was the last time that, like, you and I generally agree on almost every move this team makes? when was the last time we were wrong about one of these moves? I mean,
I'm still waiting
really?
for that to happen.
I think it was probably when Dombrowski was here. I mean,
Probably.
we weren't nobody was happy with the Mookie Betts deal.
No.
You and I were both big, opponents of the Andrew Benintendi deal. That turned out to be a total fuck up.
Yep.
I mean, that one looks just as bad now.
Yeah, it's bad.
And Josh Winkowski, by the way, I called it. He was like 8-2 in AA, and I was like, you guys need to just temper your expectations with this guy.
Pump the fucking brakes, man.
Yeah, he was 5-8 with like a 5.9 ERA or something last year.
It felt more like 11.
And the other three guys you're never going to see in the MLB. I think 2 of them are already out of the minors. The Renfroe deal. I mean, I wasn't big. That was the last time I was wrong. I wasn't big on Renfroe coming here, but he was just a nobody coming off the scrap heap. But
I'll take 30 and 100 all day.
Yeah, then he hits 30 home runs. He's a Gold Glove finalist, and then you move him for Jackie Bradley and 2 other guys who will never play in the MLB. That was great. I mean, I'm really trying to think. When was the last time that we were genuinely wrong about a move the team made? I mean,
the moves that he has made that worked, nobody knew about.
Yeah, Rule 5 draft pick. Wow.
I plead ignorance on Garrett Whitlock when they got him in the Rule 5. I don't follow the Rule 5. I know Daniel Nava was a Rule 5 guy.
Okay, he hit a grand slam in his first plate appearance and then never did anything again.
I remember well, but
and then he never did anything again.
No.
No, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, Rule 5 draft pick. Wow, you hit on a Rule 5 draft pick. Congratulations. Michael Walker off the scrap heap. Great, good. Guy went 11-2 last year. He was awesome. He was their best pitcher last year. I'd love to have him back. They won't sign him. Okay, cool, good, great hit, excellent job. John Schreiber, what are they paying him? Like $300,000.
Yeah,
good hit, great.
So, I mean, I guess I didn't plan on being on for over 2 hours, but
we're this mad about this fucking team.
Well, I mean, I could go till midnight if I could, But overall, it's like, what do you guys legit realistic expectations of this team? And I know, Logan, you don't follow the Sox like we do, and Adam, I know you don't either. But with what Bloom has done and not done so far, and I know that the offseason's not over yet, and I know there's things to be done and things that could be done. One, Dan, I'll start with you, because how confident are you that he would make something to make this offseason not a total fucking disaster? And 2, where do you think that where will they finish in the AL East if the team is comprised of what it is today?
If it is what it is today and you're not bringing back JD Martinez, I mean, I'm talking you'll be lucky to be in 4th. I mean, the Yankees are clearly better. The Blue Jays are clearly better. I think the Orioles are good enough to beat you out. And honestly, the Rays are good enough to beat you out, even though they don't care about keeping their good players either. They're still better than you. They're better at finding trades and guys off the scrap heap than you. So at best, you're 4th place. I mean, really. Right now, at best, you're 4th place. That's assuming that the Rays or the Orioles throw up on themselves as they're wont to do. But, I mean, it's just how do they turn it around? I don't think they can in 1 year, because I just went back through. I mean, with Dansby Swanson off the board, who's Trey Mancini and what? You're gonna bring in Corey Kluber? Is that really gonna change the team? That's a good start. That'd be a good start. Make a trade or something, but I mean, Trey Mancini and Corey Kluber, that best case scenario, that's not turning the team around.
No. Logan, what do you think that anything that he has done or not done is going to get them out of last place in the East?
No, because they're taking 2 steps back by not even going after Martinez and then losing out on Xander Bogaerts. I had it pulled up. They were a 78 and 85 win team last year. They're I mean, they're definitely not going to be above 500.
No, they're worse than 78 wins.
And they've actually
Right now,
they don't have Michael Walker locked up yet. Which
that's
as your best pitcher last year, you're that 25th best rotation or worst rotation is now going to be 28th now.
30.
Yeah, 30th at least. So I mean, I don't even think that you can even get better, honestly, at this point.
Imagine taking those 11 wins of Michael Walker out of the fucking rotation. Holy shit!
But what? But there's not really a trade package. I mean, where are the what are the Red
he
Sox
won't trade guys either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like they won't trade
he won't
guys.
Even trade him if they have value. He's not going to trade them. And that's another thing. It's like there's no direction. What are you doing? Like, what are you going to do to make this team better? You've done nothing this season to make this team better. Nothing. You've made many moves that have made it worse. The only thing that you did that I liked was solidifying the back end of the bullpen. Right?
Yeah.
That's it. But the way that the lineup is constructed, how many fucking times are you going to need the bullpen to fucking lock down a lead?
Every game, basically.
It's like they're not going to score enough runs. They're not going to be in the lead, and they're not going to be winning games in the 7th and 8th inning where you need the closer to come in and lock it down. They're gonna, you know what I'm saying? So
I'm not sold on Kenley Jansen, by the way. I don't.
I mean,
he
like
might
the fact
be.
that he's a legitimate closer.
Kind of
That's all I care about, because they've been against that for years. And
Yeah.
then that will make me say, if you got him now, why didn't you get him 2 fucking years ago? Like, what is different? Like, you have this philosophy like, oh, bullpen doesn't need designated roles, but now you do. You could have not had a 78-win season if you didn't blow 28 fucking saves last year. You could have had a closer.
Yeah, Matt Barnes, by the way.
And now that's different. Everything's different. He's so fucking not – he's so up and down and all over the place. Pick a side, dude. Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to field a winning team or not? How do you field the winning team? We're going to do this or we're going to do that. But when you fucking make some half-assed decision to go one way and then change it, and the team sucks and finishes in last place behind the fucking Orioles, dude, figure out what your fucking plan is. You're letting fucking all-time team talent walk out the door for nothing. And you're going to sell me that this fucking kid that might not be up here for 3 fucking years is the savior for the franchise?
Yeah.
I don't understand it. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, as fucking grown men, who buys into this bullshit?
Oh, yeah, that's my biggest.
Like, who says, like, oh my God, did you hear what Bloom said? We're going to do this now. And be like, oh my God, he did? Because everything he said so far has been so fucking great.
Dude, we got Franchi Cordero. The 4 balls that he made contact with in 2016 were all home runs or doubles, bro.
Dude, but you know how hard he hits it? He just has bad luck.
He's gone, by the way. I'm so fucking happy he's gone.
Yeah,
I never.
The Orioles signed him.
Oh no!
Great.
He'll
The
probably
Orioles.
get 40 home runs and bat 300.
gonna
from
be
them.
Adam-
That's what.
Chris Davis.
Adam
Fuck
Frazier
Frankie
and
Cordero.
Frankie Cordero on the
Frankie
outfield.
Cordova. I love it.
Franchi
And Adam-
Cordero. That was the
I still don't know the name of the 3 players to be named later that came in. I mean, I think they're all fucking already out of the league. They all suck.
well, Winkowski was mentioned, and you saw.
No, yeah.
him.
No, it was
Can you imagine
Cordero,
the ones that
Winkowski,
are-
and 3 players to be named later, and 2 of them
Yeah,
came
can
from
you-
the Mets. I think.
Imagine what the players to be named later are if Winkowski is the one that we know about.
Well, 2 years ago they were like the 61st and like 83rd prospects in the Mets system, and I believe they're working for Los Pollos Hermanos right now. I mean, I don't even know where the fuck these guys are. You're never gonna see them. You're never gonna see them. 5-player trade, Tom.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was a fucking disaster. And now
I always love you see the PB. What is it? PNL or something like that.
You know, some players
I'm
to be
gonna
named
say-
later have. Huh?
I'm gonna say, Tom, you're gonna get a lot of free tickets this year. because this team's going to be that fucking bad.
There's going to be a lot of open seats, Tom. We're going to be sitting in the front row throwing $10 Bud Lights onto the field.
You know what? If need be,
$10 Bud Light.
I will be there. I will be there to watch
the
games regardless. But, watching a product like that looks like they're going to put out there is not appetizing. It's not something you look forward to.
I know you talk about the Bluminati and all, but is it the same? Because I know with Cardinal fans, they're like, listen, we got to be loyal no matter what. And then they just kind of stick their heads in the stand. And they're like, I refuse to believe that there is anything wrong with this team. You just have to have hope because, Tom, you're not a GM. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Correct.
But Chaim Bloom, he knows what he's doing.
Right.
Do you guys have is it an overabundance like Cardinal fans or?
There's a lot of it, surprisingly to me too, because Red Sox fans are sometimes kind of a different breed in a way where we waited so long for them to win. So there's the whole fellowship of the miserable thing that it was coined by Felga years back, where guys they thrive on bitching about the team because they always manage to fuck it up. So in that way, yes, I feel that some of the people that I interact with online on Twitter or Facebook or wherever, social media stuff, you get so you think you know more than Chaim Bloom. What do you do for a living? I'm like, I'm a fucking cable guy, and I'll tell you right now, from what he's done, I feel that I wouldn't make those moves. No. Am I saying that I'm a GM? No, I'm not dumb. The moves he's making are not worthy of a guy that's running the Red Sox is the point.
Yeah.
But if you're willing as a fan to accept what he does or what he does not do, no matter what, then what does that say about you? You want the best for the team, I would think, as a fan. I do.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see someone that's countering that and doing the polar opposite of what needs to be done, you would think that you should be angry about that, right?
Yeah. And then they come back with, what, you're not happy with 4 World Series wins in the last 20 years? It's
I'm very happy.
Yeah, you're happy with it, but you can't just be like, oh, well, we have 4, so I can't really complain. I need to just sit in my corner.
I stop giving a fuck now?
Yeah. No, you got to, yeah. And this is the same thing. And this is why I always say, Cardinals, Yankees, and Red Sox fans have been in the same boat, it seems, for the past umpteenth amount of years. It's just it's the same thing. It's because we have such a rich history in our franchises, we're supposed to just be like hail to the king of, to all these GMs and owners and be like, oh, we're so thankful that you deigned to, have a team out there. I'm like, what the fuck?
So they've been pacified by winning 4 World Series and since 04. Those 4 World Series are something absolutely that any Red Sox fan would love, right? Don't you want the 5th one?
Yeah. Why stop now?
They're willing to accept. They're willing to accept 5 last place finishes in 11 years because we won 4. What is that? You don't ever want to finish last. I understand you're not going to win World Series every year. Don't you want a competitive product on the field every fucking season? Don't you want to look ahead to go, oh my God, look what they're going to be going up against the Yankees this year's going to be sick. Or, oh my God. But no, instead, we're resorted to, they're going to be fucking last again? You let Bogarts go? You let him walk? You didn't bring anyone back?
The best shortstop. The best shortstop that's ever taken the fucking field for the team.
How do you fucking sell that as a positive? And how do these people buy it? Well, I'm a Red Sox fan. I'm like, I start to doubt that you are if you're comfortable with finishing last. Because there's not a thing he's done so far this offseason that made them better than they were last year when they finished last. I want someone to fucking tell me what he's done has helped this team, because the departure of Bogarts is far worse than the addition of Jansen and fucking the Japanese kid that I cannot remember his name for the life of me.
Wade Miley.
Yeah, come on. And Wade
Miley.
Whatever. They strengthened the bullpen. They strengthen the bullpen, but yet they'll be not needed because they won't have any leads to protect. Because the
Well, yeah, I mean that's yeah. Well,
so
that's
kind of like, you would think that you'd build the lineup along with that so that these guys would be valuable.
They're going to the
again,
Tampa Bay.
What do I know? I'm not a GM. I'm
right.
I'm not as smart as Chaim Bloom.
The Tampa Bay Rays model of, the starter pitches 3 innings and then you have 9 guys come out of the bullpen, and we'd love to see it. Why the fuck would I ever want to watch Josh Beckett get 11 strikeouts or John Lester get 12 strikeouts in a game? That's fucking boring. I just want to watch.
Someone remind me when the Rays won the World Series.
Oh, man. The Tampa Bay Rays. Is that the team that's going to Quebec next year?
I believe so.
I can't remember.
Montreal.
Yeah. Seriously.
Or Charlotte.
Either one. Yeah, any of them.
That's all, But yes, to answer your question, Logan, yeah, it's up here as people. There's no middle in this one. I think it's guys like me and, Dan, and then guys that are just live life through Bloom glasses, sees life through Bloom colored glasses. And I just don't understand it. I'll never understand it. God bless them. And I hope that I hope that all they think is going to come true comes true. I would love to be wrong on everything.
It just drives me crazy because every year it seems like I have to look like it, all the Cardinals fans just rewatch the 2011 World Series. And because of that, like there's going to be a rule now that if you suck, then there's a chance that you can get hot at the right time and become the greatest team in the league at the end of the season. And it's like that doesn't happen. Yeah. That's why. And I always say like the Cardinals fans ruined the 2011 World Series for me because they just keep talking about and reliving it over and over and over again. And I'm like, good Lord, just move forward. We can get another one.
When you have guys like Albert Pujols and Adam Wainwright and Chris Carpenter, maybe, those guys can take a bit of a break during the regular season and then turn it on in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they had Matt Holliday for that one, didn't they? 2011?
Yeah, 2011.
Yeah. I mean, that was a loaded team. So, you give it a little bit of a break during the regular season, and then, that's a team that's right up there.
Yeah,
especially in 2011 because the league that was the end of the Giants run. It was prime opportunity. Then who was great in 2011? The Cardinals,
Rangers, the Phillies. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, the Phillies. Okay. I mean, maybe
a
lot of those guys were getting old.
Yeah, they were. Ended Ryan Howard's career. Whoops.
Yeah,
Ryan Howard.
Chase Utley and Ryan Howard both done very early.
Yeah. Chase Utley broke that Mets guy's leg. I forgot about that one. Anyways,
I remember that.
David Wright?
No, it wasn't David Wright. It was
it was the second baseman or shortstop.
Versa or something.
The shortstop, Jose Reyes?
No. It was the second baseman.
No, I don't know.
All right.
I run into the same thing with the Bruins fans all the time, man. Like, oh, you're rooting for the team to suck. No, I mean, I'm not okay with them just throwing fucking games.
Yeah.
You can look at it a million different ways. It's just like, if they want me to root for the team and they're just going to try to suck, I'm not obligated by my state of birth to root for the Boston Red Sox. The guys I love to watch were Xander Bogaerts and Rafael Devers and David Ortiz and Pedro Martinez, whatever. You're gonna let Xander Bogaerts walk? Well, I kind of want to watch the San Diego Padres this year. I'm not obligated to stand here with his shitty Red Sox fandom and say, yeah, let's go. John Schreiber's 71st percentile extension rate, man. I'm not obligated to do that. If you want to, you could do that, but I'm going to just tell you, like, good luck finding a better shortstop right now in the league. Because, I mean, besides the fact that all of the good shortstops are off the board now, You can have injured Trevor Story and Christian Arroyo playing second base. Great. Good.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the offseason plays out. I'm not optimistic just because I don't like anything about the guy.
I just,
you know,
best case scenario now, you're like, okay, we're bringing in Kluber and Waka comes back, and maybe the rotation, and maybe Chris Sale finally gets his fucking shit back together.
Yeah, it's just too many question marks for me. I'm not comfortable thinking positively about that many positions.
Trust me. I just told you. I think at best they're maybe going to run into fourth place.
But I don't know. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out all afternoon. I didn't mean to make it run this long. It kind of just took on a life of its own.
Yeah, right.
So
I knew you were mad. I didn't know you were this mad. No, I knew you were this mad.
You know,
honestly,
ridiculous.
I'm so mad that I can't even commit to being mad about it. Like it just makes me so fucking sick. I don't want they're not worth my energy.
I can definitely commit to being mad. And I am. And you know, unfortunately for some Red Sox fans, they don't appreciate what I say, you know, what I tweet or post, and that's okay. You know, you can be a fan the way you want to be a fan. I'd simply decide that, you know, it's better for me that I should voice my opinion if it's good and bad. If it's good, then I'll say it's good. And if it's bad, then I will fucking tell you it's bad. No one has to agree with me. I don't really give a shit. Just the way I feel about it. So anytime that I have a chance to talk to other people and that maybe share the same mentality as me and the same opinions, then I'll be happy to talk about it. I will talk to anybody about fucking Red Sox, and I'll talk to anyone about baseball, as you guys know. And if you disagree, I don't hate you for it. We'll talk about it, and you can tell me why you feel differently. And that's the whole thing, the whole point about the discussion of sports, I thought. But nowadays, it's, well, you don't think the same as me. You fucking suck. Yeah. So, you know, but that's fine. I'll talk to you guys whenever you want to talk to me about baseball and Sox, definitely. And then we'll go from there. So as of now, I'm not confident in what the Red Sox are going to be coming into the season. Hopefully some moves are made that will make me feel different. And if there are moves to be made that make me feel different, then I'll ask you guys to come back on and talk about the moves that would make me feel different. Otherwise, it's going to be a long fucking spring and summer. I know that.
We could do another bitch fest at, I don't know, April.
I think it's needed. I think it's therapeutic to do days like this. Instead of me sitting in my room yelling at myself, I can fucking vent my shit to you guys.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this is good therapy for me. And like, I'm like, oh yeah, there is another fan base that is dealing with the same shit as me.
Were the Cardinals like really in it this year though? Goldschmidt was like up for the Triple Crown for a while. I mean, I don't know. I honestly didn't really follow them. I thought they were in it, weren't they?
They were there. It just, I don't know.
They're in a shitty.
Nolan Arenado is one of my favorite players in the league. I mean, he's like a top 3 favorite player of mine.
Yeah, he's a good one.
They're like, I mean, they played like the Pirates,
the Cardinals,
the Cubs, who were shit last year.
Listen, the Pirates are shit every year.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, they were playing a lot of shitty teams, and then that's why they had a 90-win team.
Well,
they had a losing record against any team outside of the Central, and then they go out and they're like, oh, well, we're going to re-sign Adam Wainwright for a $17 million deal because we're loyal, and that, you know, and this is what I hear from Cardinals fans all the time is some things are more important than winning a World Series. Like, that's why they re-signed Yadier Molina for 3 straight fucking years. God, I hate.
Thought he retired.
Yeah, he did retire.
Oh, okay.
But I'm talking about before. And then they re-signed Pujols, which was kind of a gamble because he was 42 at the time, and you didn't know what kind of Pujols you were getting. Luckily, 42. That panned out. Yeah, really like a 45-year-old Pujols. But I mean, good Lord, I mean, I was worried, and like the fact that. Yeah, they've just been jack shit. for 3 years, and then they need all these pieces, and then they refuse to go out and get the pieces because they think Tommy Edman is a suitable shortstop when he's barely average offensively. He's a great defensive player, and then everyone is like, oh, defense is more important. And I'm like, no, it's not. There's a reason why the offensive players get paid a lot. There's a reason why offensive players who are great defensively get the top contracts, like Trey Turner, Xander Bogaerts, Carlos Correa, who won a Platinum Glove last year. There's a reason why they get the bag, and it just drives me insane that they're all that shit. And
when you're good on offense, you get more defensive consideration too.
Yeah, and it just drives me insane. But whatever, it's a wash. The Cardinals are shit. I'm pissed off at them. I probably need to have a therapeutic Cardinals Chronicles on my show. And,
you should.
I told
Logan, I'll tell you something. It feels good.
It feels good for about 5 seconds, and then you realize how much you're like shitting on the team that you love and that you spend your every waking minute thinking about.
Well, that's why that's why you keep alcohol close.
Oh, listen, the alcohol is way too close.
I've just been drinking beers, talking to you guys like I do any other day. So
your friends close and your alcohol closer.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, I'd love to talk to you guys again once we have something to talk about. If that's cool, I'll reach out to you guys, let you know when we're gonna do one.
Sounds good.
All right.
I assumed you were gonna do that anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Dan, I talked to you enough, if we're gonna.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we want to get together, we'll see what's going on. Probably right before the season starts, we'll know exactly what everyone looks like.
Oh, that'll be great! I can't wait.
We can crush drinks and talk about it again.
Yeah. Dan can figure out his computer, so we're not having radio host on the show today.
Dan has the voice, though. Dan's got the radio voice.
I was gonna say
he does have that radio voice. It's very
golden voice.
It's funny. My dad actually was a radio DJ for most of his life, and he ended his life owning 2 radio stations. And I've always had an interest in radio, even though it didn't come from him. So I don't know.
You have a good voice though for it.
Good radio. Well, I decided radio was not for me, and went into the law business. So
probably worked out well for you.
Not exactly, but hey, we'll be back. We'll be back here in April, and we can keep bitching about the Red Sox because we're never going to run out of things until John Henry and Heim Bloom are gone. I don't think we're going to run out of things to bitch about with this fucking team.
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. By the way, the player that Chase
hopefully we have a show before fucking April.
Seriously.
Hey, we could do a Bruins or a fucking Patriots thing too. I got tons of time to complain about all of them. Well, not Bruins. Bruins are winning.
I'm in, dude. I'm in. Tom needs to learn about hockey.
We could bitch about the Patriots.
I know enough. I know enough to go as far as where it doesn't get me in trouble for stuff.
The puck goes in the net, and then the referee man.
I know who's good and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
I know Wayne Gretzky. I know.
I know Neely and Lemieux.
Neely, Lemieux. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Those guys.
Brett Hull.
Brett Hull. Hey, that's a blue.
Brett Hull. He's coming in the league. His dad is Bobby.
Yeah. Back in Bobby's kid.
We could do a Patriots thing, man. Yeah, how much do you want to bitch about the Patriots? Holy shit.
Do that.
Tom, dude, there's your cue. Patriot bitch.
I get it. Adam, I get it.
Bitch. Yeah. Adam's cracking the whip already, and the show's not even over. I just did a 3-hour show for you, Adam. God.
Jesus.
I don't even work for Adam, and he cracks the whip on me. I'm like, what did I do?
Adam, my company bills my time out at $400 an hour, so I expect a check.
Yeah, right.
All in due time.
Tom, you're paying people?
Fuck no.
Wait, Danny's paying you?
No. Hey, by the way, Tom, next time you go to not Wrigley Field, Fenway Park, You're doing a like a video vlog. Can you do more of the zooming in on the woman's ass?
Oh, Dawn Marie, she appreciated that. Yes, that was not intentional. No matter what, if you believe me or not.
Zoomed in on a woman's ass. What are you, a fucking sicko?
Oh, you didn't see
No,
it?
she was
Dan,
with
go
me.
check out.
Dan,
Dan, go check out
retainer,
the
right?
Gate segment of Tom at Wrigley Field on the YouTube channel.
At Fenway.
Okay.
Well, no, what happened was I was trying to carry 2 beers and do the video.
Yeah.
So I had like the phone and I was holding one beer in my arm and the other one in my hand. And I was trying to make sure I saw where I was fucking walking. But then I didn't realize that I was on Dawn's ass the whole time. No one's complained about it necessarily.
I'm not complaining. I'm not. I just wanted to. I like that. I was like, okay, then we're gonna.
She was
I think it was our highest viewed in the Gate.
She's like, you had that on my ass the whole time because it was like days later, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't realize. She goes, are you fucking serious? Like, sorry, I won't do that again.
It was the highlight of that Red Sox.
I was like, hey, do it.
She'll probably see this, and Dawn Marie, she'll be like, Tom, so when are you gonna show my ass to everybody again? And we go to Fenway.
I will definitely go check this video out.
I could arrange.
It was funny though. I didn't realize it for real. I really didn't. I didn't.
All right.
Oh well.
I know I need to get that in the Gate going again. I'd like to find someone going to Fenway on the January 2nd, though. I'd love to get footage from that.
Oh, for the
fuck, dude! I wanted to go so bad. I looked at tickets. Yeah, dude, you drop in $800 a seat, and you'll be hard pressed to find less than 4 seats in a package. I wanted to go so bad. You just simply can't. I just don't have $2,400.
It's like the hottest ticket to find.
It really is.
What's on January 2nd?
Inns to get tickets.
It's the Winter Classic.
That's the Winter Classic.
Okay.
Yeah.
At Fenway between Pittsburgh and Boston.
Yeah,
it's funny
and
that
we're in the
Pittsburgh and Henry owns the fucking.
Yeah, John Henry owns the Pittsburgh Penguins now.
Oh, does he?
He does. He just bought him like a month or two ago.
They're going with the 1903 baseball jerseys as hockey jerseys.
Oh, God.
I think they actually look pretty good. I don't remember what the Penguins ones look like. The Bruins ones got so
I love how
shit.
you included Ted. Like they included Ted. It's great.
Ted. That's gonna make me rethink Ted and Ted 2. It was all just a Bruins. Yeah, it was just all a Bruins thing.
That's funny.
Fuck. I don't know, Tom. Tom, if you run into some Winter Classic tickets, kid, just hook me up, all right?
Yeah, if I stumble across them, I definitely
stumble across a couple. Somebody leaves them in their house while you're fixing their cable.
Maybe Xfinity will have a hookup.
Maybe they will.
You know.
All right. Are we out?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, guys. It was a good time. I always love talking to you. So, Logan, feel free if you want me to pop in on one of yours. If you have one coming up, I'll check.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Right now, we're at the end of the year. We're planning our big Christmas broadcast, but I mean,
nice.
yeah, I'm gonna try to have you on again, especially whenever we do preseason project.
Cool.
So, I'll definitely have you on for the Red Sox.
Sounds good.
Adam, you too. Also, don't worry. I'll have you on. It's only because I love you.
I'll see you in like 4 hours. I'll see you in 4 hours, Logan.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're doing the BSing sports thing.
Yeah, this will be my first time going on Ryan's shit.
Yep. Okay.
Is it only going to be me, you, and Ryan, or what?
Darren and Tyler from Fat Boy Fadeaway, I think, also.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Is Billy going to be there?
I have no idea.
I have no idea either.
So,
all right. As you know, we'll see me and Logan on a different channel in about 4 hours.
Sounds good.
I haven't even prepared for that one, so that's going to be fun.
I don't think you're prepared to sit for 3 hours with us either, so you get pushed back a little bit. You know.
Listen, I had some bottle up rage against the Red Sox, so I knew where I was going.
This is the proper place for that.
Yeah,
yes,
right.
Dan,
Like
always
this.
fun.
All right, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna check out too. You just send me a text or tweet at any time. I don't mind.
Yeah, I
coming
will.
on. Yeah. Same with you, Adam. Good to see you,
All right,
Logan. Good to meet you.
We'll get that Bruins anger going.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Well, no, but so the problem with the Bruins is they've been winning every game this year. So as much as I hate them, it's hard to complain when they're like 25-4 or something.
All right, guys. Sounds good, man. Hey, it was good talking to you guys. I'm gonna take off too. So, yeah, it was fun.
Good to see you guys.
Much needed vent session, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, right.
All right.
All right, guys. We'll see you around the flip side.
Later.
I'm having a really, really hard time tuning in to watch what the hell they got putting out there. It's disgusting.
And that's a message that they should heed. Because Tom, if you listen with any regularity to this, to whether it's Felger and Maz, or Baseball Hour, just 98.5 Sports, Tom's like one of our great callers. I love his accent. He's like the embodiment of like the old school Sox fan. You lose that guy, or you start to tune him out, you got real problems.